York City, Christopher Leon Johnson here. Currently at the James Felton Keith fundraiser, comedy fundraiser about to start now. So,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for yourselves because you made it out today. Clap it up for yourselves. Thank you so much for coming. I am Nikki Sunshine. This is Comedy in Harlem. By show of hands, who is it your first time here? Raise your hand if it's your first time here. Welcome, welcome. We are the only Black-owned comedy club in the tri-state area. Thank you. We are a commercial business, but this is a space for community. This is a space for gathering, and this is a space where we can dialogue. And that's what we're going to do today. We are going to dialogue. As comedians, and we have a lot of comedians in the room, comedians are truth tellers. Comedians are vocal and outspoken, especially when it seems that our culture is kind of heading in a certain direction. We are cultural critics. So we are here tonight to discuss, and we're gonna be respectful, and we're gonna be productive. And so I have given an introduction of myself, and hopefully we can go around and learn a little bit about everyone. But at this time, I'm going to bring up the moderator of the evening. He is running for Congress in Harlem and is an activist and very active concerning community issues. Please clap for James Felton Keith, please.
I've never been on a stage with a comedy sign, but I feel like I owe y'all a couple of jokes. So, okay, I don't have it. Well, thank you, Nikki and Jamie, number one, for hosting this. I feel like this is an unorthodox way to have a community conversation. So we do want to go around the room and know what you're mad about. For older people in the room, it's like, tell me why you're mad, son. If any of y'all don't get that reference, you are 12. And it is okay to be 12. We are inclusive. We want to be inclusive of 12 and 21 and 35 and even 40-year-olds. I feel like 40-year-olds, I'm going to call y'all young as well. But yeah, we want to go around the room. I want to start, though, with three big numbers of why we're here. Before I get to those three big numbers, though, I feel like I can't move past the fact that today is 9/11. Some of us are old enough to remember where we were on 9/11. I was in an airport in Georgia, headed to Michigan, and I thought it was fake. I was like, this is not real, right? Like, this is not a thing. This can't happen. It was shock and awe. I was in college, and earlier that day, I just thought, Jay-Z is about to drop the blueprint. It's about to go down today. Anyway, we didn't really get to digest that album, and the world of shock and awe just continued, and it has been continuing for the past 25 years. So we've lived in that time, and yesterday was another big shock and awe moment with Charlie Kirk. And I'm of the group who is not gonna spend time honoring him in thoughts and prayers. I don't know how that works. If you're on the other side of that coin, bless you, I respect that, right? But this dude totally did not respect my life and so many lives in this room. And we're in this time where everybody, all these ethnic entrepreneurs, as I like to call them, are winning. They're dividing us, they're talking about what's wrong. Even the people in this room who all look generally alike, or even in this district where I live, I'm kind of, racially ambiguous. I'm the product of rape. I think many rapes. If you knew my grandmother, you would get what I'm saying. And I remember when I got to New York, everyone was like, "You Dominican, right?" And I was like, "I don't know. What's a Dominican? What do they look like? What do they just look like you?" And people would get mad at me if I wouldn't speak back to them in Spanish because I would normally be wearing a suit because I try to dress up like a rich white man so that what I'm saying is palatable to people on a given day. And they thought I was a snob. And they didn't relate to me. And I just realized over time, over about 20 years, that there are lines drawn in the sand right here in this neighborhood between people with various identities, whether it be Cuban or Dominican or Puerto Rican or black or white or Jewish or you name it. And my political campaign is really around the singular charge that we owe it to ourselves to be together, because the moment that we're divided is when all the equity that we think we deserve we start to lose. We start to lose it in housing, we start to lose it in healthcare. We're gonna do a big panel about housing today, but that brings us to our three numbers. So nationally, I think the big national conversation is brown people in general, black people. I just like to say black, I pick that color black, I'm not of color. I think if your balls or your labia are brown, you are black, even if you don't identify that way. And the darker they are, the closer you are to that designation. But they're under attack, and specifically black people in America, about 500,000 of us are being displaced from neighborhoods that we made famous. Whether it's Oakland or Harlem, I think the most famous neighborhood in all, Detroit, Atlanta, DC, you name it. And that's been going on for about the past 15 years. Post, I know 9/11 was a little bit before that. But in the past 5 years, and I think this is the most staggering number, and we'll have some folks here to talk directly about that, we've seen 31,000 black people removed from Harlem. And people could go, it's their individual choice to move to Charlotte. No one wants to move to Charlotte. Charlotte means go down to Charlotte, have a good time. I've been to Charlotte, it's a nice time. They call their downtown uptown, which is ridiculous. It's because they're not New Yorkers. Anyway, it's the biggest part of their town, but it's not down. It's not in the southern part of the city. Anyway, as they are backwards or upside down, however you choose to look at that, it is a policy choice that they all have had to move. And not only have the black people below 155th Street been moved at the rate of about 31,000 people, but above 155th Street, we see 26,000 what I would call black people being removed. Whether they identify as, Afro-Latino, Afro-Cuban, Afro-Dominican, you name it, they have also been forced to move out. It's because of the policy choices that we've made about the buildings that we're willing to build in these neighborhoods. So, it is the primary thing that I'm mad about, because I moved to New York to get away from everywhere else. I feel like it is the center of the universe, and I want to be able to afford to stay here. And right now, I really don't know if I can, unless I try to get like 2 more jobs, or wear even a bigger suit and become an even wider guy. And I don't know how I can do that, because only one of my grandmoms is light skinned enough to make me this light, and I don't know if I can get any lighter than this. Anyway, so we want to do really quick before we get into the panel and some of the speakers that we have is, I just kind of want to get a idea of what y'all mad about. I keep looking at this side of the room because we spoke briefly, but I want to know why folks are here and if there's any core issue. Because I know politicians move around and say, I want to listen to the people, I want to listen to the community, but they don't really. And a lot of times they run on the wrong issues. I think our number one issue, as much as I like to talk about money and jobs and economics, is housing. At least that's what I think it is. And that's one of the core things that we're going to talk about here today. But is that y'all's issue? I know we got some Columbia kids in here. We got some upwardly mobile student people here. I'm just picking this guy out in particular. But anything in particular, Nikki, you got a mic, right?
Yes, I have the mic, just to kind of
my man right here
pass around, but.
Yeah. If anyone wants to go, we probably gonna pick on y'all, so you don't just get to walk away. This ain't like, I'm not nice, so we'll jump in your face and ask you what's your mother's maiden name and figure something out. But we wanna know what you pissed off about.
Yeah.
So we can figure out if we can address it and how. We got a series of solutions on the table really quick before you go, but we want to figure out if we need to build any more here and keep this community growing. We want to create a snowball of activism. So,
yeah. Hello? Can you?
Yeah.
Is it on? Wait, let me see something.
Oh, it's not on, but I can hear you.
Can you? Yeah, I don't want to. Perfect.
1, 2, 1, 1,
2. Okay. Hello? Got it. Yes. Hi, my name is Christopher. I'm from Brooklyn. I saw this on Ali Dini's Instagram story repost. I got it from Ali Dini. I saw it on Instagram. So I saw the points on your sheet about voting for the first 4.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I hope that this evening that this conversation will come to housing touch base on the 4 points. And I hope that you address what happened this past week with the city council, how they tried to stop democracy with the 4 points, because they know it's gonna go through. So the city council tried to have the BOE remove them off the ballot this past week. So I hope you get into that, dive in that later on.
Okay, I think we may have something. Anyway, yes, sure. We'll try to get into the city council play. long story short is I think we got a hand over here. I think it's, real estate is spending a lot of money to shut people up and to stop bills from passing, right? Because they don't raise a lot of money from folks like us. We'll get into it, but, so, okay, noted.
Okay, so,
We can hear you.
I got to figure it out. So,
Yeah.
my name is Downey.
Downey?
Yeah, so I'm from the Bronx.
Yep.
And so when you have this forum, is it, well, a couple of questions, is it pertaining to Harlem, or are we talking about the 5 boroughs?
We're talking about the 5 boroughs. Like, we
Okay.
got some Queens people in here.
Okay.
The same thing is happening everywhere.
Every borough, right.
Yeah, and so solutions that we build here, I mean, if any of you all voted for, Zora Mamdani, for Brad Land, they were addressing the same issues that we see in a lot of pockets where we live, right? But my focus in office will be how do we spend money to remedy problems here? But we would do the same thing, I think, in everywhere.
Okay,
So,
when we talk, all right, that's part one. Number 2, when we talk about, 'cause a lot of politicians talk about affordable housing.
yes,
What is the definition of affordable housing? Because I'm middle class, right?
yeah,
They build all these, in the Bronx all over, you see all these buildings going up all over the place.
yeah,
But the average middle class worker, government worker cannot get into these apartments. Back in the day, I believe, you used to just go apply for an apartment.
and you was, yeah,
Nowadays, you gotta get into this lotto and hope that you get into this lotto.
yeah.
Apartment, the rents are going up, they're talking about $2,500, $3,000. That's mortgage money, right?
Yeah,
So we
it's
keep
double.
we keep talking about you building units,
Yeah.
but there was I think a brief touching about generational wealth. What about building houses?
Right,
Instead of keep building all these units, and another thing, you're building units with no parking.
right.
A lot of places in New York, there's no easy available accessible parking. But like I said, what about building, we talk about our communities, our people of color, whatever. What about building houses? Isn't there enough land in New York City that we can build houses?
There
And
is.
buy and purchase a house?
There was something we were gonna get into in the panel, and let me know, Kai and Kelly, if I'm jumping the gun here. I think there is this one specific, situation that we wanna focus on here in Harlem, but that is relevant to basically, every other, borough, Staten Island included. But anyway, to answer your question is, yes, we should be building, and we've released a plan, basically explained, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this state policy called Mitchell-Lama.
Yeah, I live in Coast.
Right, okay, so I live in Mitchell-Lama, right now, but we wanna see that,
More of those.
basically, more of those where, again, there's spaces for renters and buyers, but more importantly than that, to your first question, which I think is important for everyone to understand, the way real estate defines affordability and the way we should be defining affordability is in 2 different ways. So on the block where I live on 143rd and Lenox, and the median income on that block is 35K. The median income in my zip code is 42. But the median income that is considered for affordability for the 900 unit building going up across the street is not there yet, and we protesting it a bit, is about 120K. It's somewhere close to 114, but I'll demonstrate to you how. And again, we want to come back to this. But anyway, to answer your question is yes, we need to define affordability based on our local median income, meaning what you and your neighbors make, even if you got one rich friend that lived there who moved up. What's happening is I ran for Congress and got really sick with COVID 5-6 years ago. And the AMI, or the area median income then, which was still too high then, was 79K. So that's 2019 going into 2020. Now on that, I'm just talking about on that, my same block. You can relate this to whatever block you all are on. Now it's 114. So a new building going up across the street is like, we're gonna do y'all a solid with a couple of $80,000 units, which is still too high, right? My neighbors still don't make that. But for the majority of y'all to even apply to play, it's 120 to play.
To get it.
Right. And so when people move uptown, right, because they can't afford to live in Hell's Kitchen or Chelsea anymore, right? And we see the neighborhood change. I think there's enough space for everyone, because I do think New York should be higher. I think the whole United States should adopt another 300 million people. I think New York should be double the size so that we get to make decisions about individuals, agency, and body over Florida. I don't want the Florida to make no decisions. I'm biased. I'm not like kumbaya, middle of the road. I'm not a moderate. I'm left liberal. I want to like shed my skin and get a titanium alloy exoskeleton so 1 billion me's can go in the multiverse. I think any world would be excited to have 1 billion versions of me walking around. And I don't think I'm ridiculous. I like me. I think I'm cute. I think this light is really messing me up right now. But I'm better in the dark. Anyway, the point is, right, when those folks move up here because they get better access to jobs, when we think about another number that I'm sure one of the comedians will talk about later, the 350,000 black women who are out of work since the beginning of the year, their inability to get those jobs make them unable to pay the fees that they would normally pay, and so they can't get into these buildings, and so the people who are coming from downtown who make a higher wage are changing the area median income. So anyway, to your question, I define median income or affordability based on the middle or somewhere like the average of what you all make in your zip code. But real estate defines it as something different, which is why they're paying people at the city council, which I'm not running for city council, I'm running for US Congress. It's
Yeah.
a little different. Politicians still have ugly issues, but they speak a little bit better. Right. Not
Can I
as
just
well as
jump
me.
in real quick?
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna be talking about affordability later
Yes,
in the
we're gonna go
panel.
ahead.
There's another, someone else that wanted
Yeah.
to make a statement.
Hi everyone, my name is Moses. I recognize some of the young people in the room.
Some of the young people around.
I'm one of the artists I'm from Harlem, but I'm an artivist, activist, educator, member of the community. And the question was what we were mad about, and I said I had concerns.
Oh, not mad, right.
Right, it's not about, I don't love what's bothering us enough to hate it. So I can't say I'm necessarily mad at it. My concern lies in something completely different. While I do applaud folks wanting to be active in the system that's set up now, being active in terms of voting, communicating with politicians, and trying to do something to work with the systems that are installed, I'm on a different type of time. I don't understand why there's been so much compliance on the end of the people, not just black people, but white people also, working with a system that was installed by criminals illegally in the first place. It was never designed to honor the folks that live in the space. It literally was installed by criminals. It's occupied by criminals. It's being upheld by criminals. They have suits and, the people that design your healthcare system, it doesn't affect them. Congress does that. It doesn't affect them. So it's not so much them. I expect fire to be hot and water to be wet. The thing that concerns me is that the masses of people, by the way, there's over 18 million vacant homes in the United States, and 61% of the United States is not even developed, right? Somebody's just not sharing. That's enough housing to house homeless people 3 times. My concern is, why is it that we haven't chosen us? That we still have chosen a dysfunctional relationship with the so-called powers that be. They've already stated it, they're doing it, they're showing their bias, they're carrying it out, that they will systematically screw us, throw us under the bus. They don't care what you look like, or even put a bullet in your neck.
Yeah.
Just to get you to look the other way. They don't care what you look like. They don't care if you got ovaries or not. That's not what it's about. It's about being put in a position where you get the biggest pie, and you have the most money, and you have the most this and that in position. And the problem is this, folks, all of us, instead of us squabbling amongst each other about it, we need to be united. I've been saying this for the white folks got played. They literally passed down doctrine where they literally thought that they're not real people. We're people and they're not. And the whole time they were getting their pockets picked and being treated like trash. And they didn't even detect it. And there's over 40 million of them here right now in this country that still subscribe to that foolishness. It's crap, and they're still eating it. Now, like I said, I'm not mad at you. You can eat the poison that's killing you if you're just so gung-ho about it. Go ahead, have fun with it. But my job is to say, I'm aware, I'm conscious, and some of us are aware, we're conscious. Why do we still give money to this company? Why do we still subscribe to this? Why do we still allow them to lock up innocent people? I was doing outreach with school up in the Bronx during the winter time. ICE agents came in there and get the babies out. I'm not DOE. I'm a consultant. I'm a private contractor. I had to tell them there's no kids in there. Get out. Armed members of ICE, and I had to walk them out. If all of us don't make a commitment to get involved and not subscribe to or uphold practices that are barbaric, that don't honor us, like our species will not survive if we keep going like that. It's ludicrous, it's absolute dogma that people keep eating this. They keep eating this, and that has got to stop, and that's not my opinion. That's physics. Is that enough?
It's not, it's good.
I'm asking, Nikki, is that enough?
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree on division. I agree on, look, I think we've seen this over time, that it is possible to get people to believe that others aren't human, that they don't want, humane interaction. And I just want to say I appreciate you for walking those ICE agents out, because I was at 2 schools this morning and talking to their principals about protocols. They asked us to publish a protocol on our website that they can use to both stall ICE agents and contact the authorities. So contact the Attorney General's office. If ICE has a warrant for you, for your kid, etc., there's not a lot that an institution can do except stall and move bodies. But I think it is necessary, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, I think we have to take that risk to try to protect, at the very least, these kids. But it goes back to our whole campaign. It really started, this old man who used to be Charlie Rangel's chief of staff cursed me out after I didn't run in 2018. He said I didn't give him a choice. I thought that was a ridiculous statement, because I was like, well, you didn't endorse me or help me run. But there are not a lot of people who feel like they have the bandwidth to be courageous enough to take a risk and call out wrongdoing. I mean, that's just a reality. And as a result, we remain divided with no advocates where, I like that here with the whole thing. But look, we remain divided. Our culprit in this particular race, and I had the anchor on NBC look at me with like bewildered eyes. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, our culprit in this campaign is us. Our whole slogan is we owe us, it's about what we owe us. And it's really, we owe it to ourselves to be in spaces like this. I saw what this brother Cogsville was doing with Defend Harlem. I didn't know him, I didn't know exactly what he was doing, but I was like, if these 30-somethings are doing a thing, then I need to come outside and do a thing. We need to participate. We are not committed to our own dignity enough in this time, and as a result, we are not committed to each other. It's a classical symptom of things I see when I see people who can't keep regular relationships going. They just don't like themselves. And so we've been taught not to like ourselves. Again, obviously I'm ridiculous because I think there should be a billion versions of me made out of titanium alloy surfing the multiverse. I know that is not normal, so I'm trying to see if I could just ooze a little of my excitement about myself on other people. I think that's just where we get started. So
yes,
I appreciate you.
Yes, we have another comment.
Hey, how you doing? I'm a comedian, and I live in Westchester, but I'm like a Harlem native. My heart is in Harlem. My uncle is one of the architects that built the state building. My last name is in the state building, and I'm proud of that. And it's hand charted. I don't go use it as my staging, but it's hand charted. So you'll see it near A. Phil Johnson and hand charted. So Harlem is my heart. I also manage a store in Harlem called Bakery HNY, which is right across the street from Manhattanville Projects.
Yeah.
We're about to celebrate 10 years as a brick and mortar in Harlem, which is not easy to do.
Yeah.
One of the gripes that I feel like I have, and I have two, pertaining to the business, I don't know all the logistics, but we were trying to do something in reference to just having entertainment for the patronage and the people in the neighborhood, because we give back to the community a lot. The owner is Cheo Dadon. I manage the store with him. He has a restaurant right next to called Fork and Key, and they're celebrating 4 years. So it's just a lot of brouhaha and red tape, not allowing us to do the things that we would like to do because now they want, when we presented it to the council, seemed like it would pass. Now they want money. They want X amount of money for this, that, and the third. And the community is changing, like you said. Right in the middle of the projects, we have a 26-story building that is filled with luxury items that nobody in the buildings next to them can have.
Right.
So that's gripe one. Like, it's not things that we want to do to celebrate our ethnicity, our culture, our business. We're not being allowed to do at this point. And it's the change in the neighborhood, the texture, the skin is, if they complain about everything, you can't have the music too loud, you can't do this, you can't do that. So that was one. Two, Easy Pass is extorting everybody. Like, the Easy Pass is extorting me. And I don't understand, so that's my main gripe right now besides the business. It's like you have a 25-cent toll, and because things weren't taken out of the system in a due time, you're paying $50 fine for a 25-cent toll, a $1.50 toll. I think we took away people's jobs for this system that is now extorting us. I'm literally paying a car note because of backed up Easy Pass that wasn't properly taken out of my account. So I feel like I want a class action lawsuit against Easy Pass. So I don't know if I'm the only one in the room right now that feels this way. When they were upgrading the system, a lot of things fell through a lot. It's a lot. So that's basically where I'm at with things.
Yes.
Oh, you want to say you want my?
Can we get the lawyers on that? Can we sue somebody? All right. I like to sue people, so
Yes.
I think that's the American way.
Yes, you can.
We have to have an argument in public. That's what we do different than the rest of the world. We're gonna fight in public, but on the Easy Pass, yeah.
Yeah, okay, man, thanks for bringing people together. I'm mad about us, on the political standpoint. You know where I'm at first of all, John Lasher said I'm a comedian and a tech founder. I have an e-commerce app for black-owned businesses, so I own a black-owned business. So you know where I am.
Black.com, download, BLAPP.
Yes, so you know where I am in terms of the money. I've always felt like, unfortunately, as a group, and I hope that with this demon in the White House, that we finally get the message that the world's only going to treat us as good as we treat ourselves. The circulation rate of the Asian dollar is around 28 days. 20 days for the Jewish dollar, 17 days for the white dollar, 6 days for the Latino dollar, just under 6 hours for black folks. Just under 6 hours. So until we figure that out, that a lot of times the problem is on our foot, it's on our watches, it's on our dish detergent, laundry soap, what we spend, and the car's gonna stay in the ditch. And nobody talks about this because they want our money. They want our goddamn money. We have a $2.1 trillion spending power next year. The wealth in the black economy is predicted to go to zero in 2053. And that's why we keep having the same headaches over and over and over and over again. On a political front, what I'm mad about, because I know I could go on a long ass tangent.
Go on a long ass tangent.
No, I'm not gonna go on a long ass tangent. There's a lot of people here. On a political front, I'm mad about the fact that we are always in a reactive place. Maybe since the 60s or so, we've not been in a proactive place. In the 60s, them fools was like, fuck them, let's get our shit together, let's whatever, Even the famous bus boycott, where it's almost like we missing the boat once again. Oh, fuck Target, but where are we going?
Right.
All you're gonna do is get exhausted again. You know what I mean? It's so sad. People don't understand the reason the Montgomery bus boycotts were able to go on so long is they found a way for people to get to work.
Yeah.
It wasn't just fuck this, there was a solution to it. So I say that all to say, why are we always in a reactive posture? We sit around complaining about the rent's too high and this is that. All that was mapped out. This ain't no goddamn happenstance. This, and we keep saying, oh, it's gentrification. It's not. You clearly, I was a history major, so a lot of our folks clearly don't know history. This is reverse white flight. They left, and their kids don't want to stay in them fucking meth neighborhoods in the suburbs of Indiana and Dallas and all the places that they come in here from.
And right outside Detroit, yeah.
And right outside Detroit. So where they do, show up on 125th Street, say, get your black asses out. We back. But why are we always why don't our politicians, why are we not in this is what's happening, and this is how we get out in front of it, versus always saying, oh my God, I can't believe the rent's too high. Well, nigga, they planned that 3 years ago. How'd you miss that meeting?
30 years ago.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I was just in a meeting with a bunch of politicians. Google had me come to this meeting a couple days ago down in Brooklyn Navy Yard, talking about AI and all the jobs they about to remove. I'm fortunate enough to be in the room because Black is on the move now. You know what I mean? But I mean, they already talking about getting rid of folks. One of the biggest groups they get rid of is white boys' jobs with these trucking jobs. Number one job for white men under the age, I think 60 or something like that. These trucks about to be automated.
Yeah.
A lot of this AI that I just came back from San Francisco on Monday at an AI summit for Google, talking about getting rid of jobs.
Did you ride an autonomous car? Did you do the?
Did you see my video?
Yeah, I
made a video in that damn car. But yeah, so all them Uber drivers in our community. But why don't we talk about, okay, how are we going to get out in front of something one time? When are we going to be proactive instead of reactive? And to me, that's annoying. Now, of course, like I said, the spending thing is a whole nother issue. Until Black folks get that together, we're going to be stuck in this damn boat. You know, people always wondering, like, what is the problem? The problem, what the fuck you wearing? Problem where you got your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your toilet paper. Till you figure that out, they gonna move where they tell your ass to move. You gonna move where they tell you to move.
Yeah, I definitely think it's about consciousness, right? It's about consciousness and being aware of the game that we're in and realizing that everybody is profiting off of us. And to piggyback off of what Moses was talking about in terms of radicalism, we're operating in systems that are not serving us. And that's what we need to say out loud. I am fucking disgusted with the Democratic Party, okay? What they do is they pander to Black folk when it's pander time, when it's vote time, and they need our votes. And let's rewind back to Joe Biden in South Carolina, and we did it, Joe, and all of that shit. And then when we got him in the primary, and when he won, it's almost like, okay, niggas, see you later, because let's be real, nobody gives a damn, really, about what's going on with Black folk in this country. It's like, you know, you can't even say it. And I say this, and I've gotten to arguments with people about this, friends, talking about lobbying and money. You know, it's sad and disgusting that money talks. Money talks, and Black folk, we don't have it. You know, and I'm sorry to say this, and we need to talk about this, that the money that is collected from our taxes and all of this money is being sent to places that have nothing to do with us. You know, and friends want to say, you know, we got to save Ukraine, and we got to protect Israel, and we got to do all these things. But it's like, what about us? And if you say that, it's almost like, oh, well, that's not right. Don't you want to help the people of da-da-da? I want the kids of Harlem to get an education that's worth something. I want them to be able to speak in complete sentences and be competitive in the job market. Is that wrong for me to say? Everybody else has these special interests. Can I talk about the interests of Black folk? Is that okay? And Latinos can talk about their interests. And somebody else earlier, and let's get dirty, Richie Torres. I'm calling it out. He's more concerned about his handlers and the money that he's getting and serving those people than the fucking Bronx. And it's disgusting, and I don't like it. And it's like, if you want to articulate that, then it's like, oh, well, you know, that's not right. That's, you know, there's a lot of things going on in this Trump administration that is blatantly ridiculous.
and it's so many different things that are violations, how are you gonna accept a jet or an airplane or whatever that's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars from a foreign country? If Obama did that would be the outrage. You know, and I'm sorry to say this because I know that we have black and brown and white people in the room, but basically, and to revisit this thing with Charlie Kirk, it's like white is right. You know, this mediocre man, you know, gets to say Ketanji Brown was hired for DEI, but yet and then he never even went to college. And on his mediocrity, he is being celebrated. And the half-mast thing, I don't get that. We have this big, beautiful bill that's shitting on working people that are paying taxes and taking money from disabled folks and veterans and everything else. And we're just sitting on the sidelines. Back to what John was saying, there has to be a consciousness before there is a change. And we start with our money, right? You spend your dollar and you get what for your dollar? Nothing. People are not even realize that they're being played. We're being played. And it has to stop. And it starts with consciousness. It starts with dialogue. It starts with salons like this to kind of have a discussion. And that's what this is supposed to be about. This is a dialogue, a flow of ideas. Get it off your chest. The gripes, what you see, that's what we're here to do. And I thank you for allowing me that, but there's so many things that I'm upset about. So many things.
Let me say this because I didn't come, I know you got your hands, everybody want to put their hands up. Hi, my name is Yamanika Saunders. I am a comedian. I came in here to do comedy. Okay? So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of that. I know y'all want to have a town hall meeting, but to be honest, right? Everybody in here knows what the fuck we talking about. I hate singing to the choir. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is like the only event that I will be able to really come to and be associated with James because I'm almost certain if he don't get elected, it's gonna be because of me. Come on in, black people. Come on in. Come on, beautiful black people. Come on in. We need you to come on in. Yeah, come on in. Welcome in. As much as I welcome you in, you're still resistant to come on in the door. Yeah. Just come on in anywhere. As black people, sit wherever you want. Tell this white man to get up. You have that seat. You giving up seats today, sir, right? You in Harlem. You got a number for the first time in a while. The way y'all been moving merchandise around here. Every time I see two Jewish men on this poster, I'm like, they go another community. Here's what's happening. I came here to tell my jokes, and we're gonna move forward. What we really need to do is we gotta stop having events like this, right? Where the people who know what the fuck is going on come out, right? And then we arguing back and forth with each other, or I've never seen so many neck muscles in Nikki's neck before. She's just the outrage. And I'm disgusted. Thank you for being welcome. You came all the way to the front. That's what I'm talking about. Good. Come on up here. Black love. I don't want to say that too loud in Harlem. But, everybody here is just sort of preaching to the choir and doing their thing. And then it's about how we want to get these niggas out there involved. Word. You see? I'm so glad to see you black. I advocate for black women, right? I'm almost biased towards black women because we deserve it. But outside of this, you guys would never fuck with me because I say a lot of shit I know y'all don't be bothered with. But this is you can smile all you want. I know you not, trust me. You look at me just like my aunts. We share a will with her, but other than that, we, get all the furniture with grandma down because we got to disconnect. So, it's good that we're here because maybe we won't have time. But you got time to go out in the street, you gonna figure out who is out there. We got, and what happened to Smokey? Smokey came in, Smokey, all the niggas you know all them rock bottom niggas. You better get out there and tell the niggas to get over here. No, for real. We need the niggas. The bitches in the hair salon, wherever y'all be at, the brunch ladies crew, because I know y'all got money. You can tell the way y'all sitting there trying to look like you don't have no money with these little Marshall blouses on, but I know you got them from JCPenney's. But, you know, and this young couple here, you came out to hear about the advocacy of black people, or did you come out here for material? Jokes, laughs?
Came here for JFK.
For JFK. And isn't that a blessing? That's why I know you don't know him well. Because nobody comes out here for him. The way I didn't want to come out here for him, the Lord tried to stop me from coming here. I gave me a cold, and I still had to make it through. Somehow I came in looking like Florida Evans. Now, I appreciate it. Politically, what are we going to do? Like, I'm not, my politics, I have a special out, go watch it, it's called White Nigga, sir. Clear your history after you type it into YouTube, okay? I can't help you, they find it on your search history. But it's a great, it's all about white people. And a couple of Puerto Ricans. What y'all got going on over here? You gotta really make your decisions now. She looking down like she's trying to figure it out. You gotta make your decisions now. Because they want, the way ICE is asking niggas if they from El Salvador, honey, you better know. I haven't heard nobody speaking Spanish in 3 weeks, okay? They shut that shit all the way down, okay? You sit on the A train, all you heard was blah, 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 blah. You know where the fuck you was at. I was on the A train the other day, I saw 3 Mexicans and they were speaking the Queen's English. Cheerio essay, they said. I said, I hear that. You ain't trying to go to El Salvador when you from Queens. But the country is crazy. But that's what makes everything what it is. You know, John, you know, you up there, you know, here's the thing. We get to see a lot of the shit behind it. Entertainment and politics, all that shit is business. It's all entertainment. And we can laugh and go, oh, they didn't serve us, and how come they didn't serve us? And they're serving the white people. Because the white people come in here, they know how to be a nuisance and an aggravation. They don't let nothing stop them. Look at this white man. Nobody asked him to come here. He just sitting here. Right? He said, I'm going to be white right here. And he's going to take all the abuse he got to take because he wants to see what's going on. White people are adventurous. That's how you win an election. You start going places and seeing what's going on. You know? A white nigga in the woods is worth 2 in the bush, right? One white nigga in Harlem worth 2 white niggas in Arkansas. What I want to talk about is why the fuck that nigga went to Utah talking about he wasn't gonna get shot. Child, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, John. I'm gonna let you get back to black. Please go on black. Listen, I love black. It's the only place I can wear a sweatshirt. I got big ass titties, and I know you covering up titties over there. He got titties. I'm telling you, put a black shirt on your titties, you looking so good, the bead be right over the nipples. Now, I love this. Y'all sharing a play. I love this. This is good. This is good relationship boundaries. He went and got you everything you wanted. I can't even find a man to give me a cat. He went to Utah. Oh, we so scared. We scared. We scared of niggas. And we can say, oh, the niggas is Compton, the gangs. Got shot by a white nigga while he was talking about gang violence. Ain't that shit? When I tell you the Lord will line you up, I don't want to blame it on the Lord because I don't want to speak for him. But the way that shit got lined up, it was almost like Black Mirror, okay? It was almost not a white nigga in khaki shorts killing you in Utah when you said a pack of gangbangers in fucking Compton was going to split your damn neck out. And I know a nigga didn't shoot him as precise as that shit was. You know, niggas are sloppy, but they all over the place. I'm telling you, that white nigga, that's their number one pack. I tell my nephew all the time, he plays Fortnite. And he played with these 3 little white niggas, they don't know how to shoot. And I said, oh my God, you're messing up. You found the 3 white niggas on earth that don't know how to shoot. That's their number one commerce. That's all they do is shoot, kill, shoot. You gotta find 3 white niggas. I told you, more than a custom site, do something. I don't fuck one of their girlfriends. Anything you gotta do for us to win squads. But the way he went to Utah, honey, and got shot, and was shot. That's the sad part. We see a nigga get shot. Like he was like, uh-oh, yeah. I know y'all want to get quiet because y'all know the Lord. I know the Lord, but we don't break sometimes. Because they're not going to guilt me. Oh, every time a white nigga do something stupid, we all got to turn into motherfucking Mother Teresa. Oh, don't say nothing about him. How low can you go? Now they talking about they going to fly the post office flying they shit at half mast. Nigga, don't nobody even use the post office. Y'all need to be flying y'all shit at full mast so niggas know you still work. I haven't been in the post office yet. Do people still even get stamps? Remember we used to collect stamps? White people are crazy, sir. I'm sorry that you here and you white. But maybe you can take the message. If anything happens, if a tree grows in Harlem, maybe a white nigga will learn in Harlem. You know? Go tell your people. You know? That's why you over here. You sick of them too. You over here looking for a refuge. I know what white people sick of their own. They go and find a black woman and make hush puppies. You lucked up, because I just started learning how to make hush puppies, and I know the women behind you got at least one hush puppy recipe. They got something with cornmeal in it. I'm telling you right now, you better turn around and get fed, nigga, the way they eat, I'm telling you, you'll be wearing cornrows in a couple weeks. That's why we be losing so many white men come over here and they say they don't leave because they sick of being over there. Oh, Charlie Kirk, oh, be nice to Charlie Kirk, oh, Charlie Kirk. And I thought the nigga might have been retarded, right? Take a good look at the nigga. Didn't the nigga look retarded? Some shit was going on with him. One thing wasn't lining up with another. The nigga is slow. We can't never say they retarded. No. Barron Trump, he retarded. You know he retarded. We saw him being retarded. Remember when he was getting sworn in and everybody was looking to the heavens and Barron was back there catching butterflies with his eyeballs? We can't say, and the thing is, we got to be able to say they retarded because retarded people need special assistance and care. You understand? The president should not be without a chaperone. Retarded people gotta have a chaperone. So that's why, and I know you don't want to say retarded, right? I get it, right? Oh, no, don't say retarded. The poor retarded people. And everybody's like, oh, let's have so much class. Oh, let's have so much class. Don't say that to them. But you know, when you say retarded, you're never talking about the retarded people. Never once. Never once when you call somebody retarded, are you talking about retarded people? You always talk about the nigga that ain't retarded, but act retarded. So, let's just call it retarded. Even the retarded people like, don't call me retarded no more. He retarded. Yeah, the retarded people say, don't call me something else, call me retarded like. So, they retarded, we don't call them retarded people something else, let them be beautiful, whatever they are. Because these people that are in office are really the fucking problem. Fuck them. And I'm sorry, I'm not with you guys on, come up here, John. Yeah, come up here. I'm gonna wrap up. But I'm not on the front line with you guys. I'm not that we shall overcome. I'm not that person. Don't call me for that. I'm the nigga you call when you want to blow shit up. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't call me. That's why you don't see me protesting. I'm in H&M right now getting a skirt. Once I turn my activation on, it's on. It's not on right now. I'm trying to get a nigga and have some fun before the world dies. Can I fuck? Can I get an orgasm? Please. You know what I'm saying? Don't roll your eyes at me. You know you got him over there for that. Come on. Shit, you better fuck anybody you can. Sometimes when I go home, I'm like, this nigga gonna kill us tonight. I might live one of my cats the wrong way. I'm telling you. You better fuck him while you can. Get up here, John. John's back in activist mode. Poor John. He's been fighting white people like dinosaurs since he started. You know, they hate a nigga that got a commerce. They hate niggas that even know the word commerce. What the fuck this nigga know commerce for? They hate that. He got an app. What these niggas doing with it? Shut all the apps down. Niggas over here got apps. Hate that these niggas got apps. What do you mean black? Copyright it. You don't get to say anything with black in it. We own black.
Y'all give it up.
Love you, John.
I love y'all,
Jay.
Monica.
Love you, everybody. Thank you.
I know y'all Monica would have had us in here till tomorrow, though. She don't give a fuck.
I told you already. Shit. I'm about to get smoking. We about to get out here. Go and smoking. We about to vote.
Yo, you know what I fucking hate too about the Charlie Kirk shit? And you know what? Nikki alluded to it earlier. That you got these fucking demons in office and the Democrats are so good at what they do that you got beat by these motherfuckers. Right? That's the crazy part. You know what I'm saying? How do you lose to a motherfucking felon with a rape charge? They got nuclear secrets in his bathroom. I said it. I said it.
Yeah.
How do you lose to a rapist with a fake business that keep getting money from his dad? He still gets money from his dad. And you lost. That's like being out on a ball court and you lose to a motherfucker that don't got no arms. How you lose to a nigga that can't cross the ball over there? That is crazy. But I'll tell you what they are good at. They good at bumper stickers. They are. They are. At least we know what the fuck they stand for. If we ask everybody in here individually what the fucking Democrats was running on, nobody would know. Nobody would know. The motherfuckers in 2016 said, we gonna build the wall. Or whatever the fuck he was running. We gonna build the wall. Which was kind of stupid anyway. Right? That's a dumbass slogan. Fuck you think that a woman, because a lot of these people, let's be honest, is too dumb to realize that these people wasn't coming from Mexico. They was coming from a lot further south than Mexico, you know? And what makes somebody think that a woman who is tough enough to walk across the country of Mexico by herself with 2 kids is gonna get to the border and then be like, I didn't know they built a wall. Guess we gotta head on home, kids, right? How fucking dumb do you gotta be, yo, right? But at least they fucking had like a little slogan that people could get behind. We gonna put these Mexicans out and put these niggas back in their place, right? So they get in office, and what's the first thing you do? Fire the 4-star general and replace him with a weekend Fox News host, right? Yeah, that's what the Klan used to do. Those were old Klan tactics, for those of y'all who know history, right? If you had a dope-ass law firm, they would say you looked at a white woman, hang you up, burn down your law firm, and who did they replace at the law firm? Jed, some dumbass white boy, is now running the law firm. Bill's son is the new head of the law firm. Yeah, people always talk about Tulsa. Motherfucker, there was a Tulsa in every city. Every state had a Tulsa. Tulsa wasn't a once off. All these shits that got burned down. Like, come on, man. Wake the fuck up. I still say, man, but what are, you know, it doesn't really, I'm not gonna say like, I'm just saying like, philosophically, it doesn't matter what happens to you, just how you respond to it, right? So I don't think we need no more hints that these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us. Like, what are we gonna do about it? We gonna go out and march? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times are we gonna fucking march? And we are good at marching. You know, I've been to some cool marches, right? You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody say something fucked up, we ride out inside. You know, CEO of CBS says, fuck niggas. We be right out in front. Fuck CBS. Fuck CBS. Then we add some fly shit to it. Fuck CBS. Fuck CBS. I said fuck CBS. Fuck CBS. Yeah. Right. Every fucking time, nigga leading the march be like, after a while be like, yo man, it's getting kind of chilly out here. I'm about to run into CVS, man, grab some hats. I'm about to go grab some hats and minute y'all need anything, I'm gonna be in there for a minute. He come out 10 minutes later with a goddamn name tag on. You know they was hiring in there. I'm the new head of security for CBS. I'm gonna need you niggas to take this shit down the street. You like, this nigga missed the whole point. The point was to stop spending in CBS, you dumb nigga. Oh, I wish we would understand that one day. But we just don't get it. We do not fucking get it. It's like, it really is like playing basketball and not knowing the rules. If you don't understand that these motherfuckers ain't listening to you until you learn where to spend your goddamn money. It took these motherfuckers it took white people 3 weeks to run the richest man on earth out of town. Motherfuckers stopped buying them goddamn cars and started burning them factories, and Elon Musk ran the fuck out of town. White people, we speak English, but we don't speak American. And until we start speaking American, I'm about to run up into CVS and get some hats and gloves. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be sitting here at these same little, hey man, look, they pushing us out of here, they pushing us out of there. Yeah, because you don't get it. When you can make a motherfucker worth $140 billion, be like, I better get the fuck out of here. They listening. Now they listening. The Target shit, it's like, yeah, good. But you also gotta have somewhere to go after you say fuck those people. You can't just say fuck, you know what? Damn, I do need to go get some diapers, I better run in the Target. Eventually you're gonna wear down. Where the fuck are you going, yo?
What about Costco?
What's that?
What about Costco? They were saying Costco.
I say try to find a black outlet. I'm graceful though, even though I do own, like I said, I'm building out this black Amazon, I'm graceful because I know that like, we haven't had some place where it's easy. You know what I mean? If I ask somebody, where could you get some black owned sheets, toilet paper, clothes, glasses, all in the same place? Nobody would know. You can do it on my app now, but you couldn't before. So I'm great. No, I'm saying, so that's why I give grace. Why the fuck would you? Shit, if I gotta go, you know, even when I started Black, let's be honest, right? Black people, we love black people, but only to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? When I started my app, he was like, hey, you wanna make it a not-for-profit? I was like, I don't love niggas that much. Yeah, fuck that, I want the money. Y'all out y'all black ass minds. No, I ain't doing this for free. Niggas get on my nerves sometimes. But it does have to be easy. It does have to be easy. I hope that we can create some sort of, like Nick was saying earlier, some sort of activism. Like Jan was saying, that we can drive people who are not, because that's another thing, man. You know, that sometimes people we're like, yo, politics don't do shit for me, so I'm not gonna vote. Not knowing that what politics might be doing is keeping it from getting worse.
Yep.
You know? No disrespect, but I wonder what the motherfuckers in Michigan think now.
That's what I was talking about today, yeah.
No,
You know? Yeah. You sitting there talking about Joe Biden is the devil. Nigga, they building condos over there in fucking Palestine now, just about to.
Yep.
They turning that into a goddamn parking lot. Yeah, I wonder if that was a good solution. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. I wish I could drink or do something, but I'm happy I abused my drinking privileges. I used to be a drunk. I graduated alcoholic. You know you're alcoholic when you tell your friends you're thinking about going to AA and nobody argue with your ass. I'm thinking about going to AA. My boys was like, I was like, you niggas ain't gonna say nothing. I was like, you need a ride? You can drop your drunk ass off, no? Okay, I see some of y'all got nervous. This is definitely not a cocaine situation. Ever tried cocaine, brother? No? Okay, I just scared the shit out of you. little Asian dude, he was like, I thought we came here for politics. Goddamn.
On our side, we'll never laugh at the reality of it.
Yeah.
Trump and them will laugh and then still get behind the slogan.
Yeah.
Everything Jan was saying, everything you're saying, like, it's relevant, it's funny.
And sometimes when shit is fucked up, you gotta say it's fucked up, that's where we at, and we're gonna go from there. I was just in San Francisco on Monday. I was staying in a hotel in downtown San Francisco. For those of y'all who've never been to downtown San Francisco, it ain't the downtown you think it is. I'm not even, this shit is terrible. Yeah, I booked the hotel, I just went on Expedia, I didn't know, I was sleeping in the crack den. I'm not even, as soon as I got into bed, I had a heroin addiction. You know what I'm saying? I started nodding as soon as I laid down in the bed. I'm not even supposed to be here. Let me tell you how fucked up the hotel was though, JFK, and I'm gonna get out of here. Yo, I'm not even bullshitting y'all. I get up in the morning, right? I know I'm nobody tonight, but I am somebody in real life. What are you talking about? Don't black niggas, some motherfuckers in here. Hope nobody take a picture. So I'm in a hotel, but I got an interview. The reason I didn't leave, Google asked me to fly out there to try to help me raise some money for my app. Right? Black founders. No, it's not a humble brag. Because I'm just saying that to say that for Black founders last year, venture capital, that's how we raise money, right? The venture capital whole ecosystem gave to Black founders 0.2% of all the money. So for us raising money, it's literally hell on earth. So I got an interview with the morning news in Chicago, otherwise I would just flew back the night before. The interview's at 4 in the morning, because in Chicago it's 6 o'clock. So I wake up at 4, right, to get ready, put some water on my goddamn face, and I go to get on the computer to make sure everything's working. And the Wi-Fi password said it wasn't working. I said, God damn, I'm nervous as shit, right? I got an interview, 30 minutes, CBS Morning News. I run downstairs to the front desk, I said, hey, dog. To the dude at the front desk, I said, the Wi-Fi is not working. He said, yeah, it ain't working. I said, you mean it ain't working right now? He said, nah, it ain't working. And I said, it's not working. Can you reset it? Nah. He said, it just don't work. Now I'm trying to find another short stay, dirty ass hotel somewhere downtown so I can fucking get online and do the goddamn interview. By the grace of God, my hotspot worked, and I was able to get on. And the fucked up thing is I ran to this other hotel But I think they thought I was a crackhead, right? Because it's 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I came and banged on the window. I was like, hey, I need to use the Wi-Fi. And the dude was like, what do you need? I said, I need the Wi-Fi. And the nigga asked me, he said, why do you need the Wi-Fi? I said, I got an interview with CBS. That nigga looked at me and said, yeah, right, all right, man. I swear to God, I know he thought I was a crackhead. He said, just come back when it's light. Crackhead motherfucker. Yeah, hey, man, I love you, man. We got to get some more people out. Let us know how we can help, man. You know I'm here for it. Thank y'all.
Okay, so thank you, Yamanika, John. We need the laughs because some of these topics are kind of heavy. This really is meant to be a town hall to hear what you have to say. So we want to do kind of like a mic pass so we can get some more voices, and then JFK is going to take over and do a panel. Is that how we're going to do it? Okay, so if anybody else, please, has more to say, we can do a mic pass.
Allie, right there. Allie. That's Allie right there. Yeah, to ask her.
Huh?
Allie, ask her.
Allie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ask her a
yes,
question, please.
Speak and say something.
Yes.
Yeah, Allie. You got me out here. So you got me out here, Allie. So get on the stage. Get on the stage. Yeah, get on the stage. I can't. You sure? You sure to get on the stage? I think.
Stand up before you.
You're sure? I can't see you.
No, you gotta make a joke.
Just don't tag me.
Yeah, I won't. I won't.
Hi y'all, my name is Ali Dini. I met JFK actually a couple days ago, but I also met him on previous campaigns. I'm here with my partner, Jonathan Brown, who's one of the few black firemen here in Harlem serving this community.
All right, let's go.
I'm also a county committee member here in Harlem, and I completely understand that a lot of people are checked out when it comes to, there's a voter fatigue happening. People are just tired. People saying the same thing over and over and over again, and then they show up when it's a new election cycle. There's no actual change, and I like what you were saying earlier, politics, oh, my vote doesn't matter. It does matter. As a politician, your job is to reduce the harm that is in your community so we can continue doing the work and we're not having the systematic barricade to stop us to do what we gotta do for future generations, our kids, our schools. The amount of times I have to go to Albany and fight, the amount of times I have to go to City Hall and fight and put pressure on it, put pressure on these people. We pay them. That's our tax money, right? And please vote. Please vote. It is very important, and get involved. Run for office. I know that sounds kind of crazy, run for office, but you can run for a small position, like county committee. That's your one block, your whole block, your neighborhood. You probably know 3 neighbors, 4 neighbors. It's an unpaid job, but you get power within the Democratic Party to make the changes so no longer the elites get that power, right? So right now we have a 50% vacancy within our county committee members. That's a lot. That allows for power grabs, for real estate interests, for pro-police, for pro-Israeli foreign money type of thing. So we're not making these choices. We're not backing these people up. We need to create this power, run for these seats. You probably know 4 or 5 people, so get involved with your local Democratic clubs and get involved with JFK. He is the change that we need in this community.
Yes.
We really do. No more divisiveness, no more just political performances, but just actual action. Like, we don't want to see you on TV talking that cocktail, like, oh, Trump did this, that sucks, ooh, and then not do anything. I believe JFK is going to do something. So that's why I'm here supporting him for Congress, and thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I'm passing the mic around. Anybody else have anything to say on this one?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. How you doing, brother? My name is Jason Consolado. I'm a reporter with the Amsterdam News.
Oh,
yeah.
Supporter of Kai and the Flint Harlem.
I was just hanging out here for the wings. Okay.
Oh.
Come back for the wings.
Okay.
You been here?
No. I've seen it online and everything.
Okay.
Comedy Harlem. But,
Yeah.
But,
It's usually hilarious.
for sure, no,
You're a
it's
little serious.
hilarious. Yeah, I'm definitely support. I want to connect with you as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had a couple of thoughts.
Sure.
I guess if I could say to everyone here, support Black-owned media, support the Amsterdam News, the oldest Black newspaper in New York, right in the heart of Harlem, 125th and 8th Avenue, between 126th and 125th. And you don't have to get the physical paper that comes out every Thursday for like $1 or $5, how much it is. But you can, it's on the website, just, check it. It's updated regularly and covers the most important things affecting Black folks, not just in New York, but nationally. And but yeah, Black-owned media, and that includes Roland Martin and Filter, with you guys.
Yep.
Obviously, the things that are impacting us directly, you're not always going to see that on mainstream outlets. They have their place.
Yep.
CNNs and MSNBCs, as compromised as they might be, especially now, they just fired a commentator who literally just said Charlie Kirk was divisive, and they fired him for saying that. Maybe he said more, I didn't, but
No, he didn't say nothing, that's what he said, he just said,
yeah, so
he was a hate monger, which he is.
that's absurd. So point is, mainstream will have their place. They're never gonna really touch on the things that truly impact us. That's why I got to support Roland Martin and Filter. He has Black experts on every single week, including some of my people I've known. He has Black law professionals and strategists, all these great people. So that's the kind of things to keep us informed, things that, so you could filter all the misinformation and bullcrap. When people say things like Biden Harris didn't do nothing, that's actually wrong. I'm not saying Democrats and them and all of them couldn't do more, but there's a whole slew of things that they accomplished that has not been communicated, and that misinformation contributed to why Black folks didn't come out as much as they could have. I know people say 92%, 78%. That's of the Black voters that actually turned out. If Black voters turned out at higher numbers, like 70% of even the ones that are registered, that would have probably tilted the scale in a lot of the battleground states. So, but that's all another point. Point is, misinformation is a real thing affecting Black folks. So support Black-owned media, support the truth. Don't just get your stuff from Facebook and Twitter or whatever. Support Black-owned media. That's one of my main things. But I could ask you, brother, because I'll be honest, I haven't heard too much about your platform. This is why I definitely wanted to come and hear about. I was appreciating a lot of what you were saying earlier. But when the council, remember when you mentioned things that someone like yourself can do to kind of really mitigate some of that harm. Can you share a little bit about some things you could do? Can you share a little bit about your platform, what you're running for, but also things you could do? Obviously, federal, they're targeting all the major cities out there. But what are things someone like you in your position could do to mitigate the harm and really protect Black New Yorkers and all New Yorkers' lives?
Sure. So I'm gonna ask this question while we start the panel. Let's get maybe 3 chairs up here. Okay, we'll do it at the same time. It'll be a transition. So we got the good Reverend Dr. Kelly Farrow. We got Kai Cogswell. We got Louis Sosa with the coolest rap name in the game. Just get 3 regular chairs. Yeah, and get that up or down. What we'll do is go into 3 takes on housing in particular. But one of this brother from Amsterdam News, question, what's your name again? Jason. Are you the one who wrote the article on Project 145? No. I owe you. Well, don't cover art. If anyone doesn't have that physical paper, I got a few versions of it. And it's one of the issues we're going to talk about here. I think there are 3 things that a federal elected, I'm running for federal office, U.S. Congress. You got federal offices, U.S. Congress, Senate, President, etc. You got state offices, your assembly member, your senator, etc. You got municipal offices, the mayor, council member. I feel like a lot of folks don't know. When I move around, people are like, you run for city council? My cousin runs for city council. I know, I get it. And basically, the higher office will run for the higher Brevard County attorney. And so this is not the best higher shirt I can get, but it's Charles too. So it means I'm running for the federal office. And anyway, I think the first thing we can do is, and part of what our platform is we have a housing-specific platform on how we get more funds into the local system. Not only using HUD, but there are some other methods to buffer what we've lost with Mitchell-Loma first. So like this issue that we already talked about here is housing. I think if we think about life, this will be a little bit nerdy. As Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we want to satisfy that bottom rung of needs, like housing, clothing, food, etc. And there are ways to pay for that. I think the other thing that while we're under this attack that federal electeds can do is lead legal interest to claw back funds. Like this particular state, we spend more taxes at the federal level than we get back from the federal government. Now it's a bit fractured. Like people pay individually, but there are legal arguments that we can make through the state's attorney general that will need to be led by a federal elected, like a congressman or like a senator, to be able to claw back those funds and then reinvest in what we have here. This state is big enough, like this city is bigger than Michigan alone. I always tell people who are talking about Harlem, like Harlem is bigger than Cleveland. So don't tell me about like how nice your city is. I don't believe it. I've been there. I've been everywhere and I'm never impressed. Paris is trash compared to around the corner. And so is everywhere else, but the point is, the federal office is more about capital and how we're custodians of it. So I think there are legal measures that we can take to call back funds to rebuild a version of the CDC here if it's not going to function nationally, a version of the Department of Education here if it's not going to function nationally. Now I know in this city we have the most segregated education system around, but it's also, when we say that, it is taken into account that it's also the biggest system. So I still think my friends from here can read better than I can. I grew up in Detroit, and it make the old South Bronx in the 70s and 80s look like a really nice place. I'm a refugee in Detroit. I told Ali I'm gonna stop using the word refugee because they're actual refugees out here. But my point is, there's a way that we can do that. But my last, but probably my favorite part of the platform, but I don't get to talk about it a lot, is really a tech-forward platform. The reason I think that your magazine, your newspaper, don't have a whole lot of traction, and that we're losing local papers across the country. We've got some journalism students here who I think care about the growth of local media, is because big platforms are diluting you all's ability to tell stories better. So misinformation is at a heightened rate than it ever was, at a more heightened rate, than it ever was, because we're unable to distribute stories to people, because all of our pipeline is clogged up out there on TikTok. I just had someone here in the room say they get their voting news from TikTok. I was a little flabbergasted about it, take it as what it was, as a real comment, which is why we're here to do that. And so the biggest part of my platform is my background as an engineer and economist. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a journalist. I just deal with numbers and boxes and vectors and how things work all day. Is I think that we're introducing some brand new policies that can claw back a basic income, but I would call it a productivity dividend, for all the information that people are mining on us, all this cuteness, all this blackness, all the even the whiteness, the Asianness, the otherness in the room, that big platforms are mining and building products and services on. I think they owe us a piece of that. I've calculated it on our site. I think we're missing about $2.5 trillion a year that's not distributed through the normal economy. I think that's the gap between the productive S&P 500 and our flattening wages. Wages haven't risen in the past 50 years. So I think we can solve that. But it takes, I think, an engineer and an economist to explain how we do that both functionally and policy. And the thing that I'm working on, the reason I'm running for office, because it is kind of like being a bad stand-up. You don't really know what's going to work with the crowd. I'm trying to figure out what language to use to tell you all that you're valuable, but not in the way the pastor said. Even when the pastor says it, it matters. But I'm saying I can prove it tangibly. And so I think in order to go to the first point I made about getting more money back in the district, the only way you get more money back in the district, which our current congressman can't do, I mean, he gets like an average amount that anyone would get, is you have to offer more policy at the federal level, because you're basically trading opportunities with other elections to say, hey, don't send that money to Missouri, let's bring it to New York and I'll give you this thing instead. But if you're not offering anything, if you're not me in a room of people, you never get those things. So those are our three core, but our platform is just rooted in one word, equity. I'm over the, whatever justice might be, we can't have it if we don't have equity, like what John was talking about. If I'm too broke to really go out and fight it, and I am, then I might be very dangerous. I'm running for office so that I don't have to go and kill people. But I'm available for abject violence. I'm working on it. That is a regular part of my life. And so as I am available for abject violence, I think we want to get this down. Y'all can use this mic. I think we want to storytell, we want to put sort of the national conversation we talked about the 500,000 people being displaced, and I'll distribute this mic if people have questions, into local context. So when we say we lost 31,000 people here, or 26,000 people in Inwood and the Heights, right? And we're losing the kind of nucleus that we would have when someone's like John's like, our dollar needs to circulate for more than 6 hours in our community. If we don't have a nucleus, like say you might see in Williamsburg, then it's hard to transact that money around local businesses or where we might buy our toothbrushes or our soaps, not just tech, right? But we can't use a tech method to distribute that. So I would encourage people to download and use Black and other things that that are built by a community that you respect. But it happens because of housing choices that we make and who gets to stay where. So the more displaced we become, we not only become physically displaced, but we are becoming socially displaced. We don't see ourselves as one group. We don't see ourselves together. Even as Americans, we have like the racial and ethnic and class lines. We think about everyone as a potential enemy, and that's a really dangerous place to be. Anyone who's lived in the hoodiest of the hoodiest places, everybody is looking out their window through bars, trying to make sure somebody don't rob. Everyone is scared of the tallest Black man in the room. I'm still scared, John. Tell me to walk up. I'm just like, bro.
You should.
Yeah, I totally should. But you know what I mean? Like, that happens when we become this divided. So, we got to get into the policy thing. Now, as a U.S. congressman, wouldn't directly impact like housing choices that a city council member might make, but I could be a bigger bully than the council member. Like, I got more votes than every council member, even when I ran last time and stopped the race. So if you're not familiar, like I got 20,000 votes basically without running. I called COVID early because I did an event like this. And I almost fell down and thought my mother was gonna die, everybody was dying, and we lost a bunch of people in our building. But I was out doing this kind of work. And the party was like, well, this is weird. We don't like how many bucks this guy can get without being a part of the regular machine. But then they started talking to people, Keith, all of them. We reached out to Amsterdam News. They don't call me back. Y'all need to call me back. I got more followers on social media than all y'all. I'm cute in real life. So I want to get into this panel. And I want to start, so we have, I'm going to use this language, right? Someone who runs at HDFC, right? Is it president? Is it just runs? Okay. So the president of HDFC, she's around the corner, right? Right. We have activist director at Langston House. I think has an interesting historical perspective. In the same group, we remember 9/11 as adults, about landowners and this particular piece of property that's being proposed around the corner on 145th and Williams. And then we have the lead activist. I mean, you wear a lot of hats, but Kai Collinsville is kind of organized uprising, I would call it, a group who is really for subsidies for us in this area, in this neighborhood, similar to you would see in other neighborhoods in Chinatown, in Williamsburg, etc. And also against, but again, correct me if I'm wrong, keep me narrow if I need to be. I'm an advocate for just more just housing policy. Because when we do lose our nucleus, we're unable to transact products and services and scale in society. It's sort of a tactical closer, if you will. I'm working that. Is that good language?
That's great.
That's okay. All right. I'm using the comedians to figure out what works best. So I'll like say some of that stuff later. It'll be weird, but don't act like you heard me. So I'd love to start with Kai and what Defend Harlem is, or really how you got there, and both what some of the issues that you see in the neighborhood or more broadly throughout the 5 boroughs? Because we do have people here from Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx who have questions. Okay, like, what do you think the big problems are? And then your brief with Project 145. If you could explain what a Project 145 was. And if you all are not familiar, it was on the last or second to last cover of the Amsterdam News. A really pretty graphic that I hacked and put in the camera and changed the colors on, so I hope y'all don't see me for nothing like that. I ain't got no money anyway, so. But yeah.
Yeah, so, and just to be clear, when you said there was 31,000 African Americans.
Yes, more.
That's just in central Harlem.
Yeah.
So that's not east or west Harlem.
Yeah.
That is left between, let me get these years. Between 2018 and 2022.
Yeah.
About a little over 31,000 African Americans left central Harlem. So that's a scary statistic.
That's the blackest part for anyone not familiar.
Yeah, so that's scary. So we're hemorrhaging black folks in Harlem. And that's one of the reasons I started Defend Harlem. I mean, as you could tell when we were passing this mic around, everyone is mad about a bunch of issues. But until we're able to afford to live in this community, what else really matters, right? So that's what we're trying to prioritize, on a solution-based approach where we can give people educated reasons to say, hey, James, this is what I need when you get into office. I feel like housing is simple, but it becomes overwhelming with all of these different approaches of what needs to be done. I wanted to create a real simple medium in terms of media and education, as well as organization of this is what we should ask for from our local officials, XYZ, to kind of simplify these issues. Because if it's happening in Harlem, it's happening all across Black America. And this is everywhere I've been, anywhere around the world. When I tell someone I'm from Harlem, they perk up and listen a little bit. So it's a privilege and an honor to be in this room. But also, I wanted to talk about the 145 project, because what's happening there is people earning between minimum wage and $65,000 a year are leaving New York at a really scary rate. These are our sanitation workers, our nurses, our healthcare, home attendants, people that really, they stop working for an hour, this city would cease to function, right? And I think, honestly, there should be legislation that makes it possible for these people to pay no more than 30% of their income towards rent. So they can actually save, build families in the city that they honestly help operate and help function. So the 145 project kind of checks off a lot of these boxes, meaning the developer who I've spoken with, who is open to creating subsidies to make the second tower, which is about 400 units, completely affordable. The city hasn't come to the table to create those subsidies to make that project affordable. So we have a letter to the governor and mayor, who are the people that can make that happen, that we're trying to send to all of our local officials and anyone, our faith leaders, as many people that are willing, honestly, to put pressure on our local officials and governor and mayor to create those subsidies to make that project deeply affordable. When anyone says affordable housing, what the hell does that mean in New York? When I say that, it means people earning between $31,000 and $65,000 a year. That's, I think, 30 to 50% of AMI will be actually able to live in that building. So that's what we're working on. I have the letter in my phone. I can airdrop it to the room. I could send it to James. You can send it around. Yeah. I think it's great if we could send that to our mayor, local official, any people that we know that can help. And it's election period, so it's a great time to kind of get that going. And yeah, that's kind of what we're all about. Happy to answer any questions.
So that's action number one. We want to use this list to spam those electeds with this letter. Sorry, I should be using this, right? And we'll get to more actions at the end of this. But I want to go into a little bit of the history with Louis, because even though the landlord is available to negotiate, which I like, and I think it is disgusting, to use Nikki's word, that the electeds don't care enough to cross T's and dot I's and make sure they do go through the negotiation with the developers, even though they're willing. Plainly, I don't like who the developer is. So, I don't know if you want to go right there before we go right to some history. Huh?
You know where I'm going.
Yeah, go where you want to go. I'm nobody's sensitive. I mean, Johnny, I'm an English here singing The devil's him, so I mean, I'm standing on that side of the room. Yeah, but yeah, tell us who you are and more about again the history of this project, that block, and who this developer is.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'll put myself on a time clock so I can know when to shut up.
Oh, no, you could. The crowd will start booing when it gets back. That's what we say the Reverend for last. She'll pull up the Reverend.
Good afternoon, everybody. Or good evening.
Good evening.
I need a good one. We didn't clap too much. We did good evening.
Good evening.
There we go. We need action in the room. We need some action in the room. I don't care if it's 10 or 50 people in here.
Yeah.
10 lions beat 5,000 sheep, okay? Remember that. So, my name is Luis Sosa. My government name is Luis Rodriguez. Luis Sosa is good for Google. Yeah, some women maybe came up with the name. But I'm a community activist with 15 years experience in nightlife and entertainment marketing, and I currently manage the Langston Hughes House on 20 East 127th Street. It's where Langston Hughes spent the last 20 years of his life, from 1947 to 1967. Feel free to reach out to me. And one main thing that I noticed is like how people are able to do business with us when we can't do business with them at all. So, has anybody here ever tried to go do, anybody black or anybody Latino in particular, right? Tried to go do business in a community that is not black or not Latino? It is almost impossible to do business outside of your kinfolk and sell to people that are not your kinfolk. Almost impossible. Literally almost impossible. They will not allow you to do business with them. So I'm going to go into a small history lesson of the developer and just a little history of Harlem. A while ago, decades ago, there was a gang of four. Percy Sutton, David Dinkins, Charlie Rangel, and
Basil Patterson.
Person? David Patterson.
Basil Patterson.
Say it again? Basil Patterson, okay. And these people rise through the ranks, do their thing. David Dinkins is the DSA member, by the way, shout out to Zoram, I'm down here from Astoria.
Yeah.
He was a DSA member, becomes mayor, and the prelude to him losing is he looks to start a civilian complaint review board, and the police are outside of his office having a protest. They're holding up monkey signs, they're doing all sorts of things, saying all sorts of slurs. This is before social media. Fast track past that.
This is the 90s.
Yeah, this is the 90s.
This is the 90s.
This is the old, according to my daughter, this is the olden days. And so I didn't know that Bruce Tottenbaum was Giuliani's chief of staff. He was?
Yeah, he's chief of staff.
And so the chief of staff to an administration that is focused on making sure we become slaves. That's what prison is. Prison is slaves. We became criminals once we stopped working for free. Literally. So on that alone, in any other community, this person would not be able to enter the community. That alone, let's stop there. Chief of staff, Giuliani, detrimental, I was outside. Let's just say that, I was outside. I have a super predator certificate from the Department of Correction. Okay, that's a real thing. When Hillary Clinton was mentioning super predators, that was me. I have a certificate from the Department of Corrections, 3rd grade, 1993. I passed the mental health and hygiene test, right? And so, fast forward, from that alone, this man shouldn't have been able to purchase land in Harlem. in a black community, right? That shows how unorganized we are. You can't, and much respect, some of my best friends are Jewish. Literally, tightest, closest friends. Literally, tightest friends. But we can't go into that community and do business.
No.
I'm sorry, you can't. God, you can't sell to anybody that is Jewish in the Jewish community. You just can't. They're inclusive, which is a good thing, because their principles are African principles. So I learned from Jewish people, right? Their principles are based in Africa. Dark skin, blue, black, tall, 7 feet African people, by the way. So the man proposes to build something, nothing's affordable. Kristen Richardson Jordan stops it. Shout out to Kristen Richardson Jordan. Shout out to Ali, that's where I met Ali as well. One of the first people I met when I started getting busy out here.
Chris used to be the council member here.
Yeah, council person before Yusef Salam. And he's able to build this space, and nothing's affordable. We get to fight, push. Now we're at the point where Kai just mentioned where he's looking to build something affordable. But in protest to not being able to build something affordable, the man places a truck stop in the middle of a black community. Says, oh, you wanna mess with me, I'm gonna mess with you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna mess with you in your home. You can't mess with me in my home, but I'm gonna mess with you in your home. These should be non-negotiables. These should be things that are full stop. That should stay flat for 100 years. Not because of the money, but because of the principle of us as a people. And this is where we mess up, right? We do deals, but in order for us to do deals, we have to go outside of our people to do deals. And I'm not blaming us, because we've been through things, right? This is a small drop. Africa has dominated the globe for hundreds of thousands of years. This is a small 1,000-year blip in the grand scheme of things that will recorrect itself. But we're living in that blip, right? And at what point, and this is, I'm gonna say this as well, because I'm gonna name names, but I'm not naming names for the sake of attacking people. A council member, Tiffany Caban, she's my council person, and I learned something great from her. She said, I don't see good people or bad people, I just see people. There are people who do bad things, do good things, but that doesn't mean they're good or bad people. And that's controversial, but we'll leave that alone. So we have Keith Wright, head of Fred E. Samuels Democratic Club. Yusef Salam comes in. He's a dope kingmaker, by the way. I'm inspired by him. I may not agree with him, but I'm inspired by him. But I don't agree with many things. So you're able to build relationship with this deal maker, right? Second generation Harlem, legendary Harlem family. And build this building. That's the problem. That's the problem. At some point, our principle has to supersede our money. I don't know if you guys pay attention to economics. America's about to collapse. And I'm not saying it from a conspiracy theory point of view or something like that. America's dollar is literally, we went through a depression, we go through recessions, but what do you do when I go, well, let's say I try to do business with you, or do business with Ali, or do business with Ali, or with you, and I go and I bring you money and you say, I don't want that. We're on the verge of that. That's why these real estate projects cost so much. That's why we make so little. That's why everything costs so much, because we're printing too much money. So we're approaching a point where the dollar doesn't matter. So if we as a people keep placing a dollar over our principle, we're going to be lost when our principle is all we have, right? Loving yourself is a revolutionary act. I want you to remember that. I want you to keep that in your heart. I love my people. I love my black people. I love my Latino people. That's a reason why I managed the Langston Hughes house. That's the reason why I started to get active in Harlem, and instead of being involved in, I wouldn't be a token in DSA in Astoria, but with me being from Astoria, I would be running for Mamdani's seat right now, no exaggeration. We don't know each other, but I would be running for a seat and getting it, right? No. Mary Jo Biden's running for Mamdani's seat. I want to help a lot of people run. But think about that. We shouldn't be at this point. We shouldn't be at this point where it's like, hey, we're doing business with this guy, and he's able to come in when he was a chief of staff for someone who made sure your son, your brother, your father was a slave. He was a prelude to MAGA. Trump's campaign was partially based on Giuliani's campaign.
And you probably give him like the Medal of Freedom or something, right? Some medal.
Like over his cousin or some wild shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just mentioning that, you know, my point here is that respect and our principles have to begin to supersede the money, because the money is becoming less and less valuable. If it costs more and more to purchase the same thing, that means the money is worth less. That doesn't mean that the product is worth less, that means the money is worth less. And we're at a real serious point in American history. Pay attention to that, love your people, love on your people, and yeah, man, the principle should be worth more than the money, man. This, like, at some point, we gotta put ourselves first. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, any comments, anything on that before? I'm just going to the crowd. Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Julie, you should have.
So one question I have, and this is always the struggle, is we need affordable housing, and we also need to not compromise. So what's the solution? You could say, oh, we don't tolerate this person building anything here. They go to sell it, we won't buy it from them. But one of these things has to happen in order to make sure that that land becomes affordable housing. What is your vision for what that is?
So, my vision takes a long time to accomplish because of where we are as a people, right? So we have to organize, and we have to organize, and we have to pull our dollars together. They say we don't have the money, but we got the money because we spend the money. We spend the most. So we have all the money. We have all the culture. We are the mainstream. They are the fringe. We're the mainstream. America's #1 export is black culture. So we have to organize. The money's in the room. I can literally say the money's in the room, right? If we add up how much everybody made in here this week, it may not, some of us may have made more than others, but there's a little money in this room right now. We have to organize. We have to support black spaces, and we have to buy black, live black, love black. In regards to affordable housing, I'm a huge proponent of HUD Section 32. Has anybody ever heard of HUD Section 32?
No. Break it down.
Anybody here live in NYC? No. Has anybody here ever lived in NYC? Story house. Okay. So everybody's promoting HUD Section 8 and HUD Section 9. HUD Section 9 is what NYC is now. HUD Section 8 is what would happen under RAD Pact, which I feel like we can repeal because it was done under duress. If you don't have the people,
you gotta break down RAD Pact.
Parents of the RAD Pact in short, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. The timer didn't stop. RAD Pact is basically, it allows for private developers to sign 100-year leases with NYC developments in order to manage the development and then place private buildings in those developments, place affordable buildings, private buildings in those developments. Manhattanville Houses is a development that has faced that. Many developments have faced that. Astoria Houses has 1 or 2 buildings by Durst, the same by Durst in my development. Yeah. Alright, cool. And so HUD Section 32 basically is a HUD section that is already written, and it allows for public housing authorities to sell the units to their tenants.
Okay.
It is not being promoted. So it basically makes everybody half a millionaire by selling these units to the tenants. HUD Section 32.
I think I asked
and resident management.
question as well. Can I answer that?
Yo,
yeah.
let me answer.
Go into that and then.
I mean, this has been approved by city council. It's probably gonna be developed, honestly, if we're being as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
So I think the real answer is.
145%?
Yeah, we
Yes.
need to, that project's gonna happen. It's gonna be with this developer. We need to deal in the reality right now, that's gonna be what's gonna happen. So we need to focus on literally organizing around making that tower, which he's open to selling, as deeply affordable as possible, so that when future developments happen in Harlem, we can say we have a track record
Okay.
and a precedent of how to move forward in Harlem.
Okay.
When you're developing in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think that's the most feasible way in the next 2 months of what we're looking at.
Agreed. And one thing I'll just add to that is we have an example, so we got an Inwood person here, is we have some other examples of that in other parts of the district. So, yes, while I did want to get some context to the kind of people our current electeds are available to work with, because I was also one of them super predator kids. They're picking the chief of staff of the lead prosecutor of the super predator who putting all of us in jail. I can't get,
In the middle of Black New York.
yeah, but like, I can't get to the airport fast because I got misdemeanors. Because when I was a kid, they were like, we were trying to hang something around your neck. But the deal is, we have to figure out how to negotiate this project best, right? And use it as precedent to see if we can do it 24 times over. Because if we think about each unit as possibly 2 people, I think that per plan that we're proposing, we think that we can build another 15,000 units. And we think that half of those can be folks coming in, other half of those can be our service workers who make New York go round, who I think deserve to live here. And we can regulate that at the federal, state, and municipal level. And we have the largest pot to funnel into what's happening via the state and municipal spending. And so with that, I think because the system is so complex, I think we should go into Kelly and again, some of the woes of running HCFC and just, I'd love to hear, or for the crowd here to differentiate what this kind of building is and what it is like dealing with folks in this building and in the broader regulatory and real estate apparatus. It's like how stressful is it to be you in general?
It's stressful.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kelly Farrell, president of HCFC here in Harlem. So tell me your first question one more time. Would like to see.
Yeah, just explain what that building, what was HCFC like? What does that
Housing
mean?
Development Fund Corporation. So in 1983, my building was purchased by 24 black folks for $6,000 and $250. Amen. And $250 per share. So everyone got 250 shares. So $6,000, 6,000 shares. They broke up the shares evenly, so you have 24 units. Everyone became shareholder. That worked really well until either leadership started getting older, passing away. My grandmother bought an apartment in the building and was a shareholder. She had the sense enough to have me also sign our share agreement, so when she passed away, I automatically got her shares, and then I bought my own apartment and shares in the building. So then I took over my building in 2022. It's been a very interesting ride. So when I took over the building, we have shareholders, and we also have tenants. And so the tenants are doing, tenant shit. And so they have full-time jobs, but because of the way the system is set up, and they know they can't be put out before 90 days, they got full-time jobs working at the post office, working at Beth Israel, but when the pandemic hit and we had where to stay, they think we still have to stay. And because I am my grandmother's child, not entirely, but somewhat, when I said, well, I'm not renewing your lease to stay here because you can't leave here for free, all hell broke out. But that's fine, because I'm built for that. So they have to get out, basically, right? But the way the city is set up, you have to give a 90-day notice, you have to do all this. So the gentleman asked why we don't have affordable housing. Well, there's affordable housing in my building, but there's 6 people holding it up because the city has to make me put them out in 90 days while they still yet not paying rent. But my building is affordable, but you can't get in it because I have some crack to go through, right? And so that just makes a whole situation. So because their leases are not being renewed, they are, retaliative with HPD. So they call and say there ain't no hot water when there's hot water. They're saying they don't heat when they got heating units in the apartment. Touch 2 people, so it's ridiculous. So I go down to 111 Center Street and tell the judge, because I'm black and a woman, I ain't paying $2,500 no fine for the water not being out that wasn't really out. When I'm the one who fixed it. So you have a $2,500 fine because someone lied and said there was no hot water, and then you have to go down there and tell them that you're not paying it. She's like, what can you pay? I said, I got about $50. So you can't pay that. Well, I'm not paying $2,500 because this is ridiculous. And so there is violation after violation, foolishness after foolishness, and you're right. Like at some point you're tired. You have to have the bandwidth for this. So when I say I'm built for this, true, I have the bandwidth for it. But everybody does not, right? So I'm not gonna let you bully me into a fine or a violation fee that we shouldn't be paying. And on top of it, I'm telling the lady, well, this is like this because you see the same apartments keep saying the same thing. The same apartments keep creating the same violation. Well, you have to get them out. Now, Mother Mabel, I don't have to cuss you out in this damn courtroom, right? Because you're a black young woman. But I'm trying to get them out, but y'all not making it easy, right? It's always some hurdles, always some situation. So while I love our people, lightly melanated, deeply black, while I love our people, it's some crap every other day with either the city or the people or the stipulations or the lawmakers or the judges or the attorneys. It's a hot mess, right? So now I go and I represent my building in court. I can't represent my building in housing court though. That's some foolishness. Because you need an attorney, because I can't do it pro se because we're a corporation. So there's some way, at some point, they screw you, right? So they know you have to go spend $3,000 for a retainer, which you don't have because you have to pay a $2,500 violation. Come on. Well, they got the right one today. So it is a joy, but it also has its grief, right? So my grandmother ran the building 40 years. It's now my turn. She ran it with an ethic of care. I have an ethic of care. I love black folk. I want to keep it black owned. It is a struggle because I know what's happening around here. I'm trying to tell the black folk in my building, keep us off the radar. Stop calling HPD. What you down on 100 Gold Street for white folk down there trying to take our building? Tell me the hot water's off. You know why you want to tell me the hot water's off? Because you mad, because you in your feelings, because you lying. I can't, right? So it is a joy and it has its grief, right? But when we talk about affordable housing, when we talk about where black owned is, because most HDFC are still black owned and run. It's only about 5% of us are not on the most vulnerable list. When you get on the most vulnerable list, then that's when developers start reading that list, and that's when they come for your building. Which is why I'm trying to keep us off. But they keep calling HPD, because somebody go over the top, okay, and help us, right? And so Nikki was right. The people who need to be here are not here. The folk who need to hear this are not here. Like this, I'm glad that y'all are here, but we need to be in the street. This is a setup. It is the matrix of are we unplugged? It is foolery.
It is.
And so when you have a black person trying to protect black people, because if ICE ain't coming to my building, because I'm gonna fight for those who ain't paying and those who are paying, because that's who I am. But can we get some solidarity in the room that makes some sense, right? So I'm sorry. I'm gonna wrap up.
I got a comment from you. We're gonna get all of y'all questions for this, or what?
No, I was just saying that.
I just want to give some context for the people who want to demonstrate that again. There's a different type of housing, but even when it is capitalized, equitable, rooted in ownership, there's a certain amount of infrastructure that's necessary. I think we do ourselves a disservice as a society when we ask people who do other things professionally, who have other jobs, to essentially become a real estate entrepreneur, to go through these hoops and hurdles, whether it be legal, whether it be operational, et cetera. And so there's a lack of infrastructure that could be paid for at the federal level, that is used at the state and municipal level to help these, I'm gonna just say small landlords out. Like, what we readily ask for is, and I heard someone say this other day when we get to all of y'all questions, is, we were talking about 350,000 women who lost their jobs. There was some TikToker like, they can all become entrepreneurs. I'm like, doing what? The idea that is really, it's not scalable. It is nice to be able to say, like you, John Laster, and you're an entrepreneur, and you got interested friends, and you tell funny jokes and can build apps, but it's not scalable. Everybody cannot do that. We can't even distribute that kind of capability. We cannot ask for this to be someone's day dealing with tenants. And so we need not only a web of activism, and so we're not just asking for your activism for you to be as ideological and angry as I am. I'm trying to button it up. But what we're talking about doing is building infrastructure built by the elected officials at the federal, state, and municipal levels, that be the congressman, the assembly senator, and the council member, to support all these efforts, to basically be able to extract grievances from the community. Right now, the reason our council member, our assembly member, our senator is not here is because they don't want to hear it. Because they already know the people that are participating in their ecosphere. They get elected by low turnout. Don't nobody come out to vote. you can win a council seat with like 3,000 votes.
Who you talking
I get that through a tweet. So, anyway, we're gonna go to these questions, but I just want to get that perspective. That's why we're telling these different types of housing stories, because it's very different. You wanted to, oh, you were, okay. We'll start here.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Christopher. I'm from Brooklyn. I've been, Ali Dini saw on our page. So I want to know about the community land trust. What's your takes on that? Like, do you think that's we suitable for Harlem, where we should take all the property from the developer and give it to back to the community when they mess up?
Do y'all have opinions on that, or, okay, okay.
So,
May or may not. Some of these
I'm
questions
somewhat
for me.
familiar with the Western Queens Community Land Trust. My brother Sugar Ray from Queensbridge, not sure if you heard of him, look him up. He's a strong proponent of the Western Queens Community Land Trust. I want us to own it. So that's where I'm at. I want us to own things, you know? And while I'm not a DSA dues paying member, I probably will be very soon in the Afro-Social DSA membership. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I draw a contrast where it comes to ownership. Like, I want the actual people and not the government, which is the same thing, right? Where people own the music production. I want the actual people to own where they live as much as possible. We can still have renters and stuff. The community land trust is kind of like, basically the local governments inside and public-private partnership.
Let's do a deep dive on the land trust stuff next. Some of the questions are a bit technical. I think we're lacking a land bank to go with the land trust. I'm happy to get into that. Let's do the other.
Just real quick though, if you, I don't know if you know about TOPA, the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act.
At state level. State level. It's a state bill.
Yeah, but you know, there's that happened in Brooklyn recently, where some tenants came together and bought their own building.
Yeah, 240 Arlington.
Yeah, exactly.
240
That's a
Arlington.
good model for other people looking to.
I had a quick question. Can you share why?
COPA and TOPA.
I didn't get to speak yet, so I would like to go next.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem.
No disrespect.
No, of course.
Hi, Louis. I respect where you're coming from and what you shared about Harlem. I have a different perspective to add though, and I just want to clear the record about what happened in the 90s. I grew up in Harlem. My father was the president of Restoration Corporation in Brooklyn, a community development organization, and was very plugged into all of the pitches that were happening in the 90s in Bed-Stuy and Harlem. A lot of these people were in my home, dinner parties, all alike. I heard these conversations and debates in real time. The fact of the matter is, in the 90s, there were bids put out to Bed-Stuy and Fulton Avenue and 125th Street, what we see now. And we were very organized in the 90s. It was a coalition of political leaders, church leaders, activists. They all met and talked about these things and debated them vigorously. And I can tell you that, you know, I'm the same age as you, I'm about 40 years old. And there were members of our leadership who are still our leadership today who sold Harlem out. And they personally profited from it.
Yeah, we actually on the same page.
And these were real-time discussions, debates. There were organized, educated Black folks from Harlem, from the Bronx, who sold our air rights in the 90s to white folks. And they made money. All right? So I just don't, I want to flip the narrative and add a different dimension to this. That it's not about us being disorganized or ignorant. A lot of us are educated and we know what the fuck is going on. And we're in those rooms and we profit off of it. And so I just want to add that dimension when we talk about what we're up against. We're in those rooms. They don't just come into our communities and buy property. They come through our leaders, they come through our churches, they come through our organizers, and they give incentives for us to do business with them. And a lot of us fall for it. And that's how we got to where we are now. And I'm just saying that from personal experience and hearing it as I was coming up. A lot of these deals were done by us.
Yes. Yes, sister, exactly. Thank you. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I just had a quick question. When you were talking, so what if you said your building? Can you remind me the name of your building again?
I didn't give the name, but it's over here on 145th.
Okay. I was just curious. Talk about what's the reason why tenants are not paying rent then if you said it's affordable? Cause, yeah. You mentioned that they run to like HPD and all this stuff. I'm just curious.
You
like,
said why they not paying?
Yeah, if it's affordable.
I'm gonna take you over, you can ask them. I don't know, they have full-time jobs.
Damn, they just don't want to
Every
pay? Really? They just
Post office, Beth Israel, they're not in hardship, they're just not paying. I know that's
That's
difficult
odd. That's
to
really
get, because it's dumb. But I don't really.
Have the
believe
rents
in
gone up at all?
But they're just not paying.
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah, that's.
And they're also probably not paying because they know they don't have to. So there's no accountability from the city to make them pay, right? But there's hell of accountability for me to make sure they have heat, hot water, oil. Oil costs dollars. Our oil bill is $3,000 or $5,000 a month. They have my bills in the hole $360,000 every month. Because they're upwards now of $60,000 a month not paying because their written non-payment is cumulative. So they're just not paying because they don't have to. And you have to take them to court. And if you take them to court, for civil court, then investigate your housing court case. So you have to wait to go to housing court to go deal with them, but you need an attorney, right? And then the judge may or may not make them pay using occupancy while they wait. It's a damn gambit. That's why I said, are we still plugged in? Because all of this is really just ridiculous, and it holds up people who are looking for somewhere to stay. Because if they got the hell out of there in 30 days, then affordable housing might be somewhere where somebody can reach it at. But if you're just gonna sit here and know you don't have to pay me, and then, let me say this, if you ain't raised by no big mama that gave you some damn ethics or some sort of, then you're just gonna do whatever. I lived there as president, I paid my maintenance every month. I feel like my grandma get out the grave and haunt me. I didn't have my own apartment since I was 18 years old. When I was late, I had to tell my grandma I was gonna be late. Right? So either there's some accountability, there's some integrity. Is that lacking? Absolutely. But is there accountability? Is it balanced for accountability for landlords to tenants? Because they say, oh, the courts are tenant friendly. Not all of them, because I met some judges this week that I had to let have it in the courtroom. That let them have it. Because this is ridiculous, right? But they're just not paying because they just not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just confused about
Yeah, me too.
that.
Thank you. I just wanted to offer this to anybody who could, use the information, and thank you to the people up at the front. Like, wasn't it John that said this? Okay, he said that those people were able to run, what's the dude's name with the creepy looking face and he doesn't talk properly? What's his name?
Who you talking about?
With the car company? Right. The dude, come on, y'all know there's something wrong with everybody's parents and brothers and sisters. Stop playing with me. Like, they were able to run him out within a matter of weeks, right? And you're absolutely correct. We do own the dollar. We have the highest spending, period, right?
By far.
If each of us go call 20 of the boys and 20 of the girls, and instead of overspending, you understand? Saving up to maybe, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 over the course of, I don't know, a couple of weeks or whatever, and put it together, go start buying a quarter-acre land, a half-acre land here and there, so that we have something that we own, registering it as private property. When it's registered as private property, they're not gonna tax it. You understand? We need to start ownership, because sitting here trying to pay rent and try to have a mortgage in these places where at the end of the day, you don't pay your water bill, you gotta get out, now own the whole thing, and all the money that you just threw into the toilet. If that keeps happening, we keep staying in the same cycle. It's about ownership. Like, people running to, get the sneakers in accordance with the season, or the new Jordans is out, or the Yeezys, and just, are you kidding me? They already got their money. And the amount of money that it costs to make a pair of them shoes, I've seen, because I've worked with vigilantes that go out and rescue children who make these shoes for like $15. Are you kidding me? It is a set up. The brothers that's locked up, you don't even own the fields where they're growing the drugs. You don't own the planes. You're not the pilots. You don't own the jail that you live on. Set up. The only way to fix this is if we make a commitment to stop spending money with Klansmen and Nazis, and people who hate women, or people who hate our black men, or people that hate our children. Stop giving them your money. Pool your money together. Start buying some land, registering it as private property. You got to. bury your parents or bury a family member on your property and it automatically becomes classified as a cemetery and they can't tax it no more. Own the land that you live on so that they can leave you the hell alone. I'm just saying, it's a start so that you don't be up under the thumb of this system that does not care. They've made a commitment to misunderstanding you and systematically raping you, abusing you, dishonoring you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've already shown who they are. Full-fledged felons sitting in office. If they wanted to do something about it, they could have been did something. They do not care. How many other languages do they have to say it in before you get it? It doesn't matter. It really don't matter because they hit us first because we black and we got the most money. One of my boys, he's married to a black woman. He hates white people. He said, I don't even know why you still talk to them. And I'm like, well, because I'm not a racist. You don't realize how they talk about y'all behind y'all backs. They're disgusting people. Anybody's who has made a commitment to systematically screw you, they ain't even use no Vaseline. If you're trying to sit there and have a conversation or come to the table or negotiate or offer something, they've already made it up in their mind that they're not going to use no Vaseline. As soon as you turn around, it's a wrap. And it's not just for you. These plans were thought up before you was an inch in your mama's drawers. Real talk. And you think it's not? Why do you think it's the same thing happening? Even though the calendar has changed. When we make a commitment to say, nah, I'm keeping my money. No, you gonna keep your money too? Let's keep our money? All right, good. Let's go to, in Virginia, the average cost of an acre of land is like $4,500. Go do some research. Why? Because, and it's a funny thing, I learned this from a Jewish man. He said, you want to piss these people off? Y'all the most talented people, the most innovative people. You have the most. Inspirational. Take their money. You take their money, they will march to you on their knees begging, please, we want you back. Please, take their money. And the sister's right. They didn't snatch up our continent because we're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna give it to them. Somebody who decided that they was gonna let these idiots come into our house and mess us up. That's how it happened.
Yeah, sister.
Can you go on 125th and say this? Get a mic on 125th.
No, actually, I'm gonna stop now, but I will be back here on the what? I'll be back here on October 12th during my hard show.
Let's get the mic up.
We should be on 125th.
Yo, 100%
Sister right here.
No, over here.
Okay, this gentleman will be next.
2 days and I got ready to go. I admire your family because your grandmother, whoever decided to get together, pull the money together to build the wealth, right? And I have to say for me personally, I was never taught how to manage money, okay? We know how to, we've been taught, whether it was done intentionally or not, we've been taught how to spend it. You know how to go to the store every weekend and go shopping. But nobody never showed you how to really spend money. So what I've been doing with my son, so I want him to have a better future for me than I'm having. He has a broker. I have a program with I'm a president of the probation institute. And so what I did was I started I have an investment benefit for my members. That they can actually go to a broker 6 times a year to learn how to invest and build their wealth because we don't make that much. Okay, so I think that it's very important that we teach. We always tell the kids, go to school, get your education, get a job. Go to school, get your education, be a boss. It ain't always about college neither, but how to manage the money. We talk about affordable housing, but then we're not talking about how to manage that money. We talk about affordable housing, but city workers don't make a lot of money. Right now, I'm suing the city because our agency is predominantly women of color, and the salary that we make is atrocious. It's sad. So when you think about the range of salaries, but it was considered affordable housing, that's pitiful. That's a very sad look for us, right? That's one thing. And I want to say to you, sir, who's running for office, give us something new. Because everybody's saying the same thing. They all get on and you talk about this one went to this church and this one went to that black community, and they come to us when they need us. But everybody is saying something new. I'm not hearing nothing about pay parity, equal pay. They say it once a year, and that's when we have women's equal, I think in April, March. April and March, and then you don't hear it no more. And equality, pay equality is for women, people of different nationalities, people of sexual preferences. We have to talk about pay equity because the money coming into communities, when you have more money, we may have more money to spend or more money to invest in, that has to start from somewhere. So I just want to say something different. You're here to hear what we got to say, but find out what that key to, as a probation officer, to make change. I got to figure out what works to make that person change, to buy into the change because of what body says. And I always tell them, the number stop. And I always tell them, and one of the programs I keep pushing over there, and as far as change within the criminal justice system, is economic education. Because that's where change is gonna come. Then they don't have to go bust somebody over the head or go rob somebody, because then once we teach them how to manage money, spend money, make money, or make the money and manage money, how they want to work it, and in the schools too. Because we teach a child how to go to school and get their degree. You got a bachelor's degree, what you doing with it? So I just want to make those, I'm saying a lot, but I'm trying to hit it before I leave. Those kind of things, we have to stop and really listen to the people. And when you get there, which I believe you will, don't forget about us. Don't have your security so tight around that we can get to you and talk to you. And when I call you, I need you to answer the phone.
I'm gonna give you my number right now.
When I call you, I need you to answer the phone. That's what I gotta say.
We got a pay parity event on the second. Need you to bring in your, I'm gonna, yeah, we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
My cousin got her.
Yeah, we're gonna, hit me.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
How's everybody today? My name is Jonathan Brown. I'm a county community member. I was brought here by my partner, Ali Dini. Some of you may know her. I'm listening to a lot of things tonight. There's a lot of good things I'm hearing. A lot of things I resonate with, and some things that maybe want to say some things. Like this young brother has said a few things about the devaluing of the dollar, which is a fact. And I'm big into economics, financial education, things of that sort, macroeconomics. And I think those things will trickle down to local economics. But in that sense, I think it's very important. And this young lady was talking about her issue as being owner of tenants or properties. And these challenges are different for everyone, right? I think, owning real estate isn't for everybody, but owning assets is for everyone. And I think that is important, right? Now, something that I'm very passionate about is financial education for everyone. And financial education means everybody not just knowing how to manage money, right? Like the lady over there said, nobody taught her how to manage money, but it's also knowing about what to do with that money. There was a research done that showed if you gave reparations to everybody got $1 million. That money will go back to the same people. So poor people stay poor, the rich people stay rich, right? Because it's not about just having money, it's about knowing what to do with it once you have it, how to use it once you have it, right? So knowing how to invest in assets that can further us, not just the individual, helps us, right? Now, if everybody was to invest in assets as a community, and we pulled that together to further each other as a community, that will help grow the community, right? But how do we do that, right? There's different types of assets. There's real estate. Real estate is one thing that's not for everybody, but for those that do invest in it, those that can handle it, that's great, right? So therefore, that's something that as a community we can invest in. We can invest in somebody that knows how to manage in real estate within our community, pull our money together to allow that person to help direct that. Or there's things such as stocks, right? Stocks, and anybody that is familiar with it, that choose to take on that risk, like crypto, whatever the case may be. But investing in an asset that may be more passive, where you don't have to actively go on top of it. Even if you learn how to invest in or work with a financial advisor to help invest your money to grow. It's slower, but at least we can all keep up with inflation, right? Because just having your money inside of a savings account does not beat inflation. It's little simple things like that in terms of knowing how to keep our money growing. Most of us, I'm sure, make money outside of the community, especially in Harlem, right? So you're taking money from other neighborhoods, but are we keeping it within our neighborhoods? That's important, right? Because it's not just about making money within our community, you're gonna spend it outside of the community. It's even better if you're making money from out the community, pull it in here and keep it in here, right? Take that money and circle it back within the community. How do we do that? Financial education, right? And there's different things of that, right? And there's different avenues and different things in learning about that, but I think that's very important. Learning about macroeconomics and the cycles of how money moves and certain things of when real estate interest rates go up and down. These are a lot of things that our community is lacking. We're looking at things very small and micro and just trying to attack the same things, complaining about the same issues without knowing what's really moving these metrics that we complain about. And that's a big thing. I think, a lot of people think they're saying the same things in different ways up here, without actually knowing how we get there. And I think that's the thing. Just look at what is the root in the bigger picture, looking at things macro, and then we can figure out how to attack things locally.
Definitely, brother. So we have some short-term things that we mentioned, right? That this 145 project is about to be built. The focus now is figuring out these subsidies. I don't agree with the subsidies, but we're at this point where we're figuring out these subsidies so this can be affordable. Because it's like, in a way, it's like we give people a wealth engine and then they don't have to contribute to the system that gives them the wealth engine. So it's like, there's a lot of buildings that are going up throughout the city, and not just in black communities, by the way. There was a Hell's Kitchen rezoning that was crazy. It's a big rezoning, big LIC rezoning. And when you get these tax subsidies, what you're basically saying is you can participate in the American dream, but you don't have to contribute to the American dream. Again, some of the need for the subsidy is the devaluation of the dollar. It shouldn't cost us this much to build buildings in the first place. So the short term of it is, yeah, this building's about to be built. If we're talking on 145. And people like JFK are gonna have to tackle these short-term issues, right? And the long-term issues are, how we basically are, not us, but our parents' generation, they are the generation where Martin Luther King mentioned, hey, I think I led my people into a burning house. That's the burning house, where we had the Civil Rights Act and then we had integration, and then corporations came around and said, yo, y'all wanna take part in this? Just come get this money, come get this bag. We didn't give you jobs before, we'll give it to you now. Just sell yourself out a little bit, you know what I mean? Sell your kids out, you know what I mean? And then the long-term fight of the creating the behaviors, habits, and patterns. My goal is to pass away as an industrialist and a social engineer. So creating the behaviors, habits, and patterns that lead our demographic out of poverty. And that's a part of that issue, right? Where we have learned behaviors, learned habits, learned patterns, where someone sets a machine in place, rolls it a few times, and then they step out the way, and now the machine's running good. We're tripping over each other, we're arguing with each other, we're not practicing cooperative economics. There's no need for anybody to stick their cog in the system, right? It did that in the 60s, right? Got rid of our system, get rid of our leaders, disrupted our people. Now we just selling each other out to the point where everybody in here may mean well, but we'll find a way to argue with each other and not work with each other, right? So hopefully, I know for a fact that JFK will help us in carrying the baton towards those long-term issues we need to face while tackling these short-term issues. So pay attention to JFK, see what he's doing. and support him as he runs for Congress and anything else he does. He's a good man. I've known him for a while. Shout out to Maria Davis too. Shout out to Maria. I'm gonna give her a hand clap. Yeah, Wednesday.
I just want to add to the conversation because we're talking about money and we're talking about economics, but I think there's something missing from the conversation. And I don't know if you saw the woman who went viral because she was talking about monopoly and how blacks fit in and capital and how for 400 years, certain people have had access and have had a head start. You know, I have people in my family that say, well, why don't black people just pull themselves up by the bootstraps? And why don't they just do this? And why don't they just do that? But we are now in a game, in a system where we are very, very far behind. That's right. And I was just thinking, you know, like, I think the consciousness of what we are in and linking it back to what John was saying about how we spend our dollar, when we get more conscious, I think that we will realize that integration hurt us, because if we had that segregation piece, then we would not be talking so much about how the black dollar is leaving our community.
Yes.
And so I think there has to be consciousness and a black nationalism in order for us to kind of zoom forward, connect, build together, collectivism, and so on and so forth, because we are in a system where we are the bottom feeders. People are stepping on us and stepping on our backs and building their industries and their empires off of us as if it were 1679. And so once we become aware, linking it back to Moses, we will think about where we spend our dollar. And I say this all the time. It's so interesting how the media, and we see these commercials, and they're making it seem like everybody can afford a Lexus. They don't want to really pull the Band-Aid off of the reality that just like in India, they're caste and levels to this shit. And there's a whole lot of us at the bottom that can't afford the shit that they're pushing. But there's no hyper awareness about it. So while I agree with you, we have to learn about macroeconomics and how the dollar is flowing and stuff like that. I'm pretty much a pawn in the game. The rent I pay, it's a lot of rent, and it is rent. I can't own none of this shit. I don't have the capital. I gotta go to a bank to get you know, a loan that may or may not be, you know, a decent interest rate. And you know I'm going a little bit off topic, but even Wells Fargo has done so much harm. They harmed me.
Racist, yes.
They harmed me. They wouldn't refinance my house. This was a 2008 crisis. These banks are feeding on us and all of this stuff. It's really, really important for us to be aware, for us to work together. And I think Moses was mentioning, you know, the money, the dollar is depreciating. We put so much emphasis on money and the dollar and stuff like that. Yes. What if we started to barter with one another, or try to help each other, or offer space, or do different things to get around this system that's really it's oppressing us? And it's like we cannot break free. And I agree that the dollar is pretty much doomed. We haven't even discussed BRICS and the global south and all of that, but I just wanted to put that out there so we could have a little context about the money. I believe Stephanie was next, and then I think after Stephanie we want to hear from Maria Davis.
Maria? I live in Brooklyn, and I want to say I applaud you for keeping the legacy. I'm presently
Brother, can I get your contact?
fighting a landlord. I live in a complex that's Jewish home. I'm working with an organization called Community Resist, and they are helping us to get repairs done in our building. I've lived in my building for 18 years. I'm a single parent now, daughter in college, taking care of a 78-year-old mother. And I am a social worker by trade. in a nursing home. I'm also a event planner, promoter. I promote comedy. For me, survival, they say you have to have 7 incomes. I have 4. And I'm grateful for all the things that I've done and my accolades and things like that. But what I get most upset about, like you said, you have people in your building, they don't work, they don't take care. I'm somebody, I work hard for the money that I get. I pay my rent. Right now, I can tell you the last 4 years, the people above me, the pipe broke. My ceiling has been fixed 4 times. The super, who is not really qualified, he fixed it and it recently fell again. My bathroom has been fixed at least 5 times remodeling. I have a 2-bedroom. I am at the point of, my daughter is at Johnson C. Smith in North Carolina. I'm about to move. And I'm just like, I'm tired, like, and then I see people that live in these apartments, they're paying 30%, and they're not taking care of them. They're not even paying the rent. And for me, I'm grateful in the sense that I work with seniors, and I help them get transitional housing. And a lot of my seniors, it was a freeze on the program. It's open this past year, and a lot of my seniors are paying 30% of their salary, and they have these beautiful apartments. They're like $2,500 apartments, and they're paying like $800,000. And my rent, I can't afford to move. If I move into a 1-bedroom, it's the same price as the 2-bedroom that I'm paying. So I'm sticking and staying, and this organization is basically helping us to sue the landlord so that maybe the money that we're withholding in rent could be used to pay the repairs. And then, I don't know if they take away the building from the owner, maybe give it to the residents, or either take it away for a while or fine them until they do. We found out they have 666 violations. When I went to the court, I'm grateful, I have a female judge that has been with me for the last 2 years. Every time I go to housing court, I show her what I pay my rent for a click pay. So when I show her I pay my rent on time every month and they still not doing repairs, she fines them. Yep. Right now, I think I have mold in my ceiling, and I have to call HPD to come in. So that means I gotta stay off work. I'm tired. I could move to Harlem if I found something. I'm tired.
If I can get the money, you can come
So I feel for you. I mean, like, there are quality people out there that work and they want a decent apartment. Like, I have a cousin, she just got an apartment by Aldi's and Target and Flatbush. Beautiful, amenities. I said, girl, I would even move here because you see where your money is going. For the money that I pay, I might as well go get a house and pay a mortgage. That's where I'm at. So I feel it. And I mean, like, I need help. But I think.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It is timing, because when I went to housing court, in regards to a different situation, the judge was defending me. So, because I said everyone's not out here being slumlords, but you gotta help us that wanna have our buildings nice and have somewhere, like my grandmother had the tenants spoiled, right? So if I take 2 weeks, they're like, Miss Betty had it in 24 hours, wait a minute, because you're not taking anything. And even and because I care about Black lives and I care about Black people, I'm gonna make sure that they still have a decent place to live. But it's a catch-22, it's very challenging, right? So I'm looking for people like you, and you're looking for people like me, I'm gonna give you my number. Because we fit to get them out of there. Because they are working full-time and just not paying. And I'm not sure, let me say this, there are 24 units in my building, 8 people are carrying my building. Grandma used to say that the building's being held together with grace and glue. It is. 8 people, 8 regular people, including myself, are carrying my building. and the rest of them just come and go. And I asked the tenants, so we have a tenants meeting with those that pay. And like when y'all see each other in the hallway, y'all giving daps and stuff like it's cool, but they about to put you out in the street.
But I'm grateful for our tenant association. They have been, we meet at least twice a month.
Yeah.
And we all signed a retainer with this lawyer.
Which is good.
And we fine. And it's like, I don't wanna give up, but I'm about to move.
I understand.
I just can't do it no more.
And so JFK said, you know, we were talking about the different situations. So they're also holding us spaces where, because my building's a co-op, so they're also holding us spaces where someone who wants equity, but I hear Nikki said when you go to a bank, which I don't like banks, right? There's a catch-22 with that too. But if I'm selling a unit for $135,000, someone can afford that, and your maintenance is $975, but you can't get a bank loan. The system is terrible, right? It is terrible because the building should be back to being majority shareholders, because I need people in the building who care about where you live, right? I need people in the building who want to be in a building where when you go on vacation, Miss Mary is looking out for your apartment. Like, that's where I come from, so that's what I would like, right? But we don't have that, or we do have it, but maybe folks are just scattered, right? So I started in 2022, and I'm moving the freight train forward. It has been a whole time, right? But I understand what you're saying. You want it. It promotes you to move or just be exhausted, and it is exhausting. So I say, you know, we rest, fight, and pray, but we rest so we can fight. Like, we don't just keep going through to exhaustion, because that doesn't serve anybody. So next week I'm resting, and I'll come back the week after and do it again, because I refuse to kowtow to toxic whiteness. I'm not giving up my building. I told HPD, y'all need to come back in no more. Because if you raise, Granny said, if you raise hell loud enough, they'll stop fooling you. Y'all don't come back here. I want everybody to know, oh, she crazy, we going on building no side. No, you cannot come here and bully us or wear us out or push us out and all those kind of things. So I feel you and I hear you, and thank you for sharing.
Good evening. So my name is Marie Davis. And I'm going to tell you the biggest enemies in our communities are us.
Us.
The biggest crime seekers are our politicians. Very sad. I ran for judicial delegate, got kicked out of the Democratic Club because I ran against some people that I shouldn't have ran against. And I'm like, all the stuff that I'm doing in the community, you worrying about me, and our people are dying in our community. And you worrying about a judicial delegate seat? You better be focused on when Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, when our children don't have lunch. That's what you need to be worrying about. But we focused on the wrong things. We gotta get back get people in our community that care. We got charlatans in our community, or charlatans, or whatever they call them. And we need to change. We are just afraid to change. We go in that voting booth, well, I'm gonna stick with so-and-so because I know that devil better than I know the other devil. We need to get them all out. They all devils. Because don't nobody care about our community. They claim they care, but then they do stuff 145. It was at 57% affordable, and the person got it down to 33%. What kind of craziness is that? But they tell you that they care about you and your community. I'm telling my people, if they ain't working in your community, we need to vote them out. We can't be afraid to vote them out. They work for us, we the people. But they're taking advantage. And it's very sad. We never gonna get nowhere because we got politicians that don't want us to get nowhere because they got their hands in the cookie jar making sure that they okay. And it's time for us to change that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say a name. You said sorry. I'm sorry.
Say it, yeah. Don't be sorry, just say it. Yeah.
Now he wanna go for, what's his name? What's our congressman's name?
Adriano.
He wants to go for Adriana. How you gonna go for Adriana's seat when you useless Yusuf in Harlem? Come on now. And then we all be like, yeah, we gonna do that. Then we go in the voting booth, because I work polls, I work early voting. I know I see it all the time. I'm gonna fight, I don't want him in the office, and then you go in there and you vote for him. We cannot be afraid. Guess what? If some, I don't care if they Republican, if they doing something that's taking care of our community, then we need to vote for it. Until we get our own movement. But we have to focus on people. I'm not looking at what nobody is anymore. I want to know if you're independent, if you're doing something for us. If you're Democrat, if you're doing something for us. If you're Republican, if you're doing something for us. That's all I care about. And that's all we should care about. It's not a black and white thing. They keep saying, keep Harlem black. Harlem ain't black no more, forget it. Harlem is real estate town. Because that's all they care about. They keep giving them buyouts, tax breaks, like you said. Yeah. Well, how are you giving them a tax break and they have money? And they're not putting nothing back in our community. They ain't opening no centers. These kids out here fighting. They running up and down in the street. They on bikes. But you can't even be mad at the children. Because there's nothing for them to do. When I grew up, we had centers. We had Miss Alice upstairs, and if you went down to 34th Street, she knew you went down to 34th Street, she came back and told your mama. We don't have gatekeepers in our community anymore. We have people that are afraid. I'm not afraid. If your child is not doing what they're supposed to do, I'm going to shake them up and then I'm going to come and tell you I shook their ass up. We can't be afraid anymore. The fear has stifled us. We're afraid to vote for the right person because the right person is doing right, but we don't want them to get corrupt by the corrupt people. We got to change these things. Love, joy, right, another one, not doing nothing. Where are these people at? You don't see what, the one thing I can say about Perkins, I don't care how anybody felt about him. You can see Perkins on the street every day, walking up and down. He knew his whole community. I don't care whatever his foes was, whatever, he knew his people. And when he died, I was at his funeral and I was working. He had everybody. From the man that went to jail to the senior. Because everybody said he did. Now we have these no-doers. And we satisfied with no-doers. We need to make a difference when November comes. And that is people that are not doing for us, we need to get rid of them. I don't care who they are, I don't care if you like them, they father was so and so and so, I don't care. Colored Loose Bruce must be turning over in his grave right now. Because that was not what Colored Loose Bruce was about. What the rights is doing, I'm sorry. And I don't care if I don't ever get back in the Democratic Club, that does not matter to me. Because if you're not doing right by the people, we shouldn't have to pick a Democratic Club based on you can't run, you gotta ask my permission. What the hell, you ain't paying my rent, I'm asking your permission. But we need to get our young people involved. Yeah. We really need to get, that's why Mondani is winning. Whether he's good for us or he's not good for us, he's winning because he's saying something different. You on the soccer team yesterday in the rain, talking about we gotta bring the soccer tickets down. You know how many people love that? I don't even like soccer. Yeah, bring the damn soccer tickets down. He's saying stuff that people want to hear.
Best campaign ever.
Yeah. He's saying the stuff you want, whether you like him or not. He's saying stuff, bring the free groceries. Yeah. I know it might not happen, but I want some free damn groceries. So we have to say, and we got to get our young people, push them to get into these seats. If these people are bringing their children in, and children don't even want to be in politics anyway. We got to do a check. We got to do a 365. No, we got to do an 805. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is concluding our event tonight. I hope that you came, that you got something out of the discussion. Someone suggested, JFK suggested we should do this again. We would love to do it again. I'm thankful for everyone that came out because I feel like we really kind of, we talked it out. We talked it out and now we got to move towards some solutions. Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, if you're not following Defend Harlem on Instagram, you should do that before you leave.
Actually, yes. Thank you for saying that.
Keep up with what you're doing.
Let's go around the room and so we can know who to follow and things like that because we want to be involved.
not just follow. Let's follow up.
That's
not
what
just
I'm-
follow. Yes.
Well said. It's defend on Instagram, defend.harlem. And we have all the information on everything I've talked about today. Actions, everything's on there.
You can follow the Langston Hughes House. It's at the Langston Hughes House, THE Langston Hughes House. And as far as me personally, you can just Google Louis P. Sosa, and my social comes up, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, and I just wanted to say I'm here for the long run. You know, shout out to what Maria Davis said. Some of this is a day, some of it is a week, some of it is an election cycle. Some of this is a 5-10 year fight. Like, we're here talking about and mentioning, we mentioned Mom Donnie, we mentioned David Dinkins, we mentioned these people. And this was a 10-year fight. I remember baseball games in the behind Astoria houses back in Bernie Sanders' first run, you know, and not mentioning DSA, but just to mention it, like, it's a movement. Like, that took years. That took years. And then it became a big snowball.
Yes.
Once someone got in, once AOC got in, it became like a wrecking ball that couldn't be stopped in political terms. But it took a while. So, you know, we really got to look at it from a 5-10 year span of what we can do and what the election cycles are, who we can activate, and what platforms we're going to activate.
Thank you. Anybody else want to shout out your, what about follow Amsterdam News or
Oh
anything?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone. Once again, Amsterdam News. I'm gonna defer to you, and also I want to connect you maybe about the story or something. But,
It's Dr. Kelly Farrell, Dr. Dr. Kelly Farrell on Instagram, Facebook.
how do you spell Farrell?
Farrow.
Kelly Farrell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say once again, I would write with the Amsterdam News. Hey Maria, how you doing? Yeah, even if you're not black in this room, you know, support the Amsterdam News, oldest black newspaper in New York. You know, obviously, Amsterdam News. Someone mentioned that. I think it was JFK mentioned reason why we're not, you know, necessarily where we should be. But the Amsterdam News actually on digitally is doing pretty well. Of course, media overall, like print, is moving away from print, but digitally we're doing well. So, of course, more could be done. I think a lot of people aren't that familiar with Amsterdam News, but it's things like that supporting the oldest black newspaper in New York, keeping people, our community, informed about all these stories, about what's happening is so important. And yeah, so Amsterdam News, you can follow that on
My name is Moses Harper, and you can follow me on Instagram at the letter J, Moses Harper. I'm also doing the Sugar Hill Art Expo 2 here at Comedy in Harlem on October 12th. And the theme is artist activism. So it's going to be a bunch of artists and creatives who use their work to speak to truths that we've been discussing today, and then some. The only way this is going to work is if everybody makes a commitment to get involved and to get involved with our own well-being. Because if we wait for the so-called decision makers to do it, they're going to let us down. They're excellent at that. They have master's degrees and multiple doctorates in letting us down. We have to take this in our own hands.
Yeah.
And
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, the other thing, what I wanted to say, your idea about getting the brother and his 4 friends pulling together $1,000, all this to buy community land, buy the blocks and all that. You should really be on like 125th or whatever, just signing people. All of us could do this kind of work, but I'm saying the way you were breaking it down, you should really be on the street, like with a microphone.
We have no idea.
Because obviously we hear, but like someone was saying, preaching to the choir here.
Right.
The people in the community, they have the money, they spend it on this and that, but you know, you should have a mic, you know, because you break it down, you're an artist, so you know how to do it. But,
I offer that insight to many in our population, homeless and youth, a lot, and let them know. It's funny because the people at home, the adults are generally the hardest ones to get to listen, but I do that as part of my work.
But thank you.
But young people too, all of us, because
Yeah.
like you said, like
I just
young people can
wanted to
pull
quickly-
together $1,000 to do all this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
just
how it
wanted to quickly
starts.
mention that there's a call to action segment of the event, like a call to action. Make sure we donate and reach out to JFK any way you can help. If you'd like to volunteer or anything in any way, just reach out. There's a QR code I see on these pieces of paper. So make sure you support JFK. He's out there making a deal. What's up? He's out there willing to do it. Bring this up.
Yeah, where you at?
You know, my sister, what's your name again? I like that. You know, what we forget is a lot of our actors sat at the foot of Martin Luther King. So a lot of our Lord have mercy, I'm forgetting all their names now, Lord forgive me. Nina Horn, Nina Simone, Harry Belafonte, all the frontline people back in the day, they were all actors. That was part of their acting. The beauty of what they did was a part of the living of the community. And your activists, I like that. And you should be going to community board 10, going early so you can talk about it. You should be coming to the 28 precinct community council so I can let you talk about it. So the people in the community, I don't care if it's just one or two people that hear it, you gotta start something. It just takes one. What you talking about, being activists, players, actors, that's who you need to really be tapping. And I do a showcase Mad Wednesdays. You can come to my showcase every third Wednesday. I'll be here Sunday. Mad Comedy. You can come and say something at Mad Comedy too. Wherever we can get our people to mention and say something, that's what we need to do. Anybody that has a platform, I'll give you my card. You come see me anytime.
Yes, I want to thank the comedians tonight who donated their time because they could have been somewhere else. Yamanika, John Master for entertaining us. Please follow Comedy in Harlem on Instagram, Comedy in Harlem. We are the only Black-owned comedy club in New York State, and we would appreciate your business. Tell people about us. We do karaoke on Mondays. It's free. We have R&B diva Monifa. She does the karaoke, but we open to support Black and brown artists. So that's what we do. We put money in the pockets of Black and brown comedians 5 days a week. Check out our website, comedyinharlem.com. Follow us, Comedy in Harlem. Thank you for everyone for coming out. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. So that's it. Thank you. And enjoy your day. Happy Thursday.